Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRIEND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Every business seeks an advantage, whether it's having the best location, hiring top talent, or spotting trends before they happen. And now, the United States Postal Service can give your business a new advantage. Introducing USPS Ground Advantage. Reliable and affordable 2 to 5 day package shipping. It's the advantage you need at the price you want. Get the Ground Advantage at USPS.com/advantage. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America.
When I was in Iraq, our convoy was hit. It was bad. After I came home, I could still hear booms and see tracer fire. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
With help from DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Today, I'm part of DAV. We're veterans helping veterans to get the benefits they've earned. And I give my veterans my all.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Naomi Mathis, thank you for your service. May your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
And Bonds hits one high. It's a deep. It is out of here. Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker.
It's time to get up and get your day started. It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable!
Here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Happy Friday, everybody. Good morning. Welcome into Sports 56 Mornings. We are that much closer to the weekend, and it should be a great sports weekend. It's the first weekend combining college football and National Football League action this season. Last night we had the opener of the National Football League season. We'll talk about the Lions' big win over the Chiefs coming up on the program today. I am Greg Gaston, my partner in crime, Eli Savoy, off today, but I have my other partner in crime, Zach Boyd, with us, producing the program. We are in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, the world's biggest spa sale going on right now at Family Leisure. They're located at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. 50 different models to choose from. 5 different manufacturers, up to 30% off in stock spas and swim spas. Check them out at Family Leisure. Weather-wise, looks like it's going to be a pretty nice weekend. If you're heading up to Jonesboro for the Tigers and Arkansas State, tomorrow night should be fantastic. There is a chance for some scattered thunderstorms this morning, but it's not some all-morning rain affair. Cloudy skies for the most part. 86 degrees for a high today. The chance of rain's only at 40%, 65 degrees currently. Tonight we're looking at a few clouds, low of 65 degrees, and then tomorrow partly cloudy with a high of around 85. Coming up in the program today, our Friday regular John Varlas will join us in studio at 7:25 to give you the latest on prep football. We will talk Tennessee Titans and NFL with Nick Suss, Titans beat writer for the Tennessean. That'll be coming up at 8:05. At 8:25, we'll continue our week-long preview of the Tigers in Arkansas State. We'll get it from the Arkansas State point of view, as Matt Stoltz will join us. He's the play-by-play voice for the Red Wolves. And then at 9:05, you love him, you need him, you can't live without him. Brandon Lang will join us from the Believe Me podcast and BrandonLang.com to break down some of the NFL and college football games, handicap them, if you will, for this weekend. And then at about 9:30 or so, we'll play 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. Give you a chance to win a nice prize package. And then we'll get out of here at 10 o'clock, hand things off to Dave Woloshin. Before we get to the highlights of the night last night in the world of sports and talk about what's coming up today, let me introduce Mr. Zach Boyd. Zach, how are you this morning?
Greg, what's going on?
4-day weeks are better than 5-day weeks, aren't they?
I agree.
Man, it was nice to have Monday off, a short week, although you know it, I know it, Eli even knows it, even though he won't admit it. Getting up early is tough, but for all those early risers out there, we say good morning to you. The United States is getting ready to play in the FIBA World Cup in the semifinals. That'll be going on at 7:40, and Zach and I will keep you updated as far as that is concerned. Now, we do know, Zach, who the United States or Germany is who they play. I don't know what I just said, but USA versus Germany at 7:40. But we do know who they will play, either USA or Germany in the championship. It's Serbia.
Ooh.
Serbia knocked off Canada. Oh, Canada. I'm sure Eli's doing somersaults wherever he is right now.
He is kicking his feet like a little girl.
You know how much he hates Canada. I don't know why. And I hate to use that word hate, but he said it on the air. 95-86. The Serbs. Bogdanovic had a big game. So the Canadians are knocked off. I really thought we were headed to a United States-Canada final. Not going to happen. Let's see if the United States can get there. Again, I know it's not the best we can send over, but it's still a star-studded team, and the United States, no matter who's playing, is expected to win every time in international competition. It doesn't always turn out that way, and this will be a strong Germany team they face. Again, 7:40, so in about 35, 36 minutes or so, we'll keep you up to date on that. But again, it was Serbia over Canada.
It's crazy because going into this, everybody, including myself and you as well, we were saying like, okay, like Canada might be the team to beat.
Mm-hmm.
And when the semis kind of came out and we saw that USA and Canada was on opposite ends of the bracket, it was like, okay, so for the United States, they might end up getting silver because Canada is that good. But now we got to the point where it's no excuse now. It's like we got the gold medal pretty much locked away. You need to take care of Germany today and then handle Serbia over the weekend.
With all due respect to Serbia,
yeah,
with all due respect to Germany, you're right. We got to win this thing. Look, I love international competition. We are waving the flag, the red, white, and blue flag for not only the FIBA World Cup, but we have the Ryder Cup coming up at the end of the month into October with the United States versus the Europeans. So it's that time of year when we try to put our best foot forward in the world of sports. Now, before we talk about the NFL game from last night and the college football and NFL weekend, we did not put our best foot forward last night here in Memphis. I won't talk about it too much because we really don't dive too much away from the world of sports. But I only bring it up, and we have shootings all the time, as do other big cities. But I only bring it up because it was at a sports venue, although not a sporting event. Did you see this overnight?
Yeah, I caught wind of it right before I went to bed.
Yeah, Lil Baby concert. There was a shooting inside FedEx Forum, man in critical condition at last report. Not sure if there's an update on this person who was transported to Regional One Health. Lil Baby was rushed off the stage. It is extremely alarming. It is also unacceptable that somebody is inside FedEx Forum with a gun. They have metal detectors. I guess we found out, what was it, last week we read the story about the woman, I don't know where it was, who brought the gun in through in the folds of, her fat folds of her stomach.
Yeah.
Like somehow that protected it from going off. So I don't know who the shooter was. All I care about is that we don't have any more of these type of incidents. Inside, look, it's bad enough when there's shootings outside of FedEx Forum or outside or anywhere downtown. But gosh, inside a venue, this time a music venue, many, many times a sports venue, you want to feel safe when you go in these places. I just don't understand how that happens. Lackadaisical, as they were able to do this. You have metal detectors, but you also have all those security people in there. If they see anything that looks a little suspicious, they need to make sure that they check on these people. You just can't go through a normal routine because you're going to have people trying to get guns on planes, trying to get guns in the venues for whatever the reason is. So, again, I'm not going to sit here and dwell too much on it. I just think that it's extremely alarming when it's indoors, when they have metal detectors. Obviously, we've had these unbelievable school events over the years. It's a very scary proposition. And again, for security, it's unacceptable to have something like that happen. Last night in Kansas City, they celebrated another Super Bowl championship. The Chiefs did. The Chief fandom did. However, at the end of the game, they were not celebrating because the Detroit Lions, who seem to be the darlings of the NFL going into this season, surprised the Kansas City Chiefs 21-20 at Arrowhead Stadium. Now, Kansas City missing some major ingredients. No Travis Kelce. That's a big weapon for Patrick Mahomes. No Chris Jones on the other side, who continues to hold out, although he was in a suite watching the game in Kansas City. So I guess they're nice enough to allow him to go into the suite and enjoy the game. I assume that's not his suite. Maybe it is. But they need Chris Jones. They need him big time, and they need Travis Kelce. Kelce, hopefully for their sake, will be back for game number 2. But this was a good game, good way to start the season. Mistakes made on both ends. I am sorry for my play on the Riley Patterson field goals. I lost that bet, and unfortunately maybe some of you did as well. Really did not help when Marvin Jones fumbles a ball deep in the red zone, which looked like it would be at least a Riley Patterson field goal, I believe in the second quarter. But after that, just never an opportunity for Riley to kick field goals. So I lost that one. For those who took Detroit in the points, didn't need the points, straight up 21-20 win. How about Motor City Dan Campbell, the head coach of the Lions? Might as well call him Motor City Madman. He's the next Ted Nugent. He goes for it on that first drive. Were you watching last night?
I did.
First drive, inside his own 20, rolls the dice on 4th down and gets the first down. I mean, that's a gamble. I know it's early in the game, so you could probably recover from that, but you never see that.
Yeah.
So he gambles. You never see it in the NFL, I can tell you that much. And then you turn around late in the game, and the Lions have the lead, 21-20. There's about 2.5 minutes to go. They have a 4th and 2, and they go for it. The pass is deflected. Jared Goff's pass is deflected, knocked down to the ground. So now Kansas City takes over with Patrick Mahomes and a short field, and all they need is a field goal. And you thought, come on, Dan, what are you doing? Well, the Lions defense rises to the occasion. Mahomes did a lot of good things. He always does, but he had some passes that were off the mark. He also had a lot of drops by his receivers, especially Tony. Man, oh man, was he bad in this particular game. And you heard the boo birds come out when he dropped his last pass on that drive. Kansas City was in position. They were given a golden opportunity. They did not come through. Then you had the Chiefs go for it on 4th and 25 as opposed to punting. Now, there was only 2 minutes and a couple of seconds left to play in the game, but they did have all 3 of their timeouts. Normally, you would see a coach have his team punt, try to get a stop. Of course, all it would take is 1 first down to end it. But they went for it. Did not complete a 4th and 25 and gave the ball back to Detroit. Detroit got a first down and put the lights out on the game. Great win for the Lions. Already a terrific story to open the season. Doesn't mean that they're going to run roughshod through the NFL. But, Zach, that was a good way to start the NFL season.
Oh, yeah. And then you kind of saw even though Mahomes was Superman in this game, because he pretty much did everything right. You kind of saw it, man. Like Travis Kelce makes a difference. Like
makes a huge difference.
Having that one guy that you can say, yeah, he's your best skill guy, and have the defense kind of affect or kind of shift towards him. You kind of saw last night that they really missed him.
Yeah, there's so many plays that are really set up for Travis Kelce. Now, one of the backup tight ends came in, caught a touchdown, but they had so many drops. So Mahomes was running for his life often, ran the ball, I thought, pretty well. So again, Patrick Mahomes is going to do super heroic things. It just wasn't enough to pull them out in this particular game. And it's unfortunate, as again, it was a night where they celebrated last year's Super Bowl. So, Patrick Mahomes, oh, by the way, is now the 9th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? So, obviously, Patrick Mahomes is up for a huge contract. You got to make him number one. He's the best quarterback in the NFL. You could argue he's the best player in the NFL, at least best offensive player. But he's now 9th. And who is number one? Joe Burrow. I'm not saying Joe Burrow doesn't deserve, but Joe Burrow is now the highest paid player in the history of the National Football League. Burrow and the Bengals reach an agreement on a contract extension that will pay him $275 million over 5 years, $219 million guaranteed. Again, not going to sit here and say that it is not deserved. Joe Burrow deserves to be paid handsomely, but Patrick Mahomes deserves to be the highest paid quarterback, if not player, in the National Football League, and that's going to happen. It's going to happen. So congratulations to Joe Burrow. Dinner's on him. We'll talk more about the NFL as the show progresses. Of course, Brandon Lang will be here to break down some of the big games this weekend, handicap them, if you will, and we'll also talk about the Titans specifically at 8:05 with Nick Suss. Some other notes. Last night, both Parth Upadhyay and Jason Munz had a chance to talk with Penny Hardaway, who, by the way, I saw Penny at Galloway Golf Course yesterday. He was a couple of groups behind me. They were telling me as I was teeing off that Penny's group was going to be right behind me. I said, hey, there's going to be a problem if Penny hits into me. We're going to have to go at it. So, no, I'm kidding. But, so Penny was, having a little time to relax and play a little golf. And then I think he had an event, a kickoff to an event, maybe a golf tournament, in fact. But Jason and Parth talked to him about the Mikey Williams situation. And according to, I think both of them had this story. I'm not sure exactly which one. I was reading both of them. They both do an outstanding job covering the Tigers. But they said that Penny told them that he believes Mikey Williams is enrolled at the University of Memphis. So, again, his court hearing has been pushed back to October. I don't think for a second he'll ever play for the University of Memphis. But if he's enrolled and actually going to class are two different things. I don't know his situation. But Mikey Williams continues to be listed on the Tigers roster. In the meantime, Penny also said that David Jones will be arriving on campus either today or Monday. So he'll get a late start to classes, but he'll be fine. Had to get his visa situation straightened out from the Dominican Republic. So that'll be nice to have a David Jones on campus. We still know nothing new on DeAndre Williams. And then the Mikey Williams saga continues. It lingers. So we are getting closer and closer to camp. Camp will open up in about 6 weeks. And still an unfinished roster, but a star-studded roster nonetheless.
I think somebody said, I can't remember where I saw this, but somebody said that the reason why he can't, they said, like Penny said, he's enrolled, but the reason why he couldn't do in-person classes because of his, how big of a star he is. So obviously when he's walking on campus, everybody who follows him on Instagram at the University of Memphis wants to get a picture with him. So. So I think they have him taking
online
courses. I could be wrong though. Something could change.
Do athletes go to class? I mean, I know they have to do classwork, but do they physically go to class anymore? It seems like everybody's online.
Yeah, some do. Some do.
Probably,
In certain classes.
probably the younger, the freshman, the sophomore. You get upperclassmen, you're taking it online, and especially after COVID.
Yeah, if it's available.
If it's available, right. College football. Last night there was just one game, and it was an FBS FCS game, and really no game, to say the least, as far as competition is concerned. Louisville all over Murray State, 56-0. 2 games on the docket for tonight. Indiana State at Indiana, another one of those FCS, FBS battles. And then Illinois at Kansas. So that's an interesting game. Illinois from the Big Ten, Kansas from the Big 12. The Jayhawks, a 3-point favorite at home. Again, we'll talk plenty of college football and get Brandon to handicap some of the big games, including Alabama, Texas. We'll do that later on in the show. Eli and I spoke earlier this week about the situation in North Carolina with Tez Walker, that he was denied, couldn't play his first game for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Well, now comes word that he's ineligible for the entire season for 2023, denied his appeal. Mack Brown went off, said, quote, the NCAA has failed Walker and his family. It makes no sense. It never will. His previous schools were North Carolina Central and Kent State. Both of those schools filed waivers in his supporting him, still to no avail. And again, read, if you're on Twitter, go and see what Mack Brown had to say. Just absolutely destroying the NCAA. This was just a bad decision. A really, really bad decision. But you be the judge about that. U.S. Open last night. The climate protesters were out again. Did you know that, Zach?
I did not.
Yeah, the old climate protesters. I understand their plight. I understand what they're trying to say. The word, you can believe it or not as far as climate change and all that. But come on, man. Stop interrupting sporting events. Stop doing that. 50-minute delay for these climate protesters to get them out of the Arthur Ashe Stadium last night. It took them that long to get them out. And in the meantime, Coco Gauff and her opponent have to sit and wait and wait and wait and wait. And Coco Gauff said afterwards that she understands the climate protesters. She understands that situation. But there's a time and a place, and that time and the place is not there, but they're trying to get the publicity, right? So they're trying to get the word out. It's like the PETA people, the whole Timberwolves deal with, what was it, the Grizzlies?
Yeah.
That thing. I mean, it's, again, okay, you can buy into it or not. That's your prerogative. And I understand they want the full attention of people, but stop it. Just stop it. But it didn't affect Coco Gauff. She went on to win, and Coco Gauff is now in the women's final, the singles finals at the U.S. Open, looking for her first ever major championship.
Let's go.
Coco Gauff is tremendous. Absolutely. She's 19. She's physical. I love her. She's the next big star in tennis. She's going to be marketed by Madison Avenue. Nearly an all-American women's final. Madison Keys won her first set in the other semifinal, but then ended up losing 7-6, 7-6 in the final 2 sets and ended up losing. So I don't know if it's a Russian that Coco Gauff's going to play, but it's a woman who has been really, really good. It's going to be a big challenge. She's big, strong. Coco Gauff not as tall, but Coco Gauff as strong, and that will be the women's final. So that's what's happening over at the U.S. Open. So there you go. There are some headlines from what happened yesterday in the world of sports. When we come back, we're talking prep football. John Varlas joins us in studio. If you have a question for John Varlas, hit us up on the Sports 56 listener lines by texting in 901-360-8255 or send us a question via Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or send it to the website sportsmemphis.com. The NFL season is now underway, and you can get some incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $200 back in bonus bets, and that is guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube television. Again, I didn't come through for you yesterday with the Riley Patterson field goals. Right now, I'm looking at the Jacksonville game to play the over in that game. I like Washington over Arizona. I also like the over in that game. I think the over is 38, if I'm not mistaken. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is easy to use. You can bet on everything from spreads to player props and much, much more. So visit FanDuel.com/Gasman. That's your promo code, Gasman, and kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel is the official partner of the NFL. 21 or over, present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem, call TN Redline at 1-800-889-9789. Now, the NFL Sunday ticket offer ends on September 18th. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan is required to watch YouTube television. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use excluded. Subscription renews, but you can cancel at any time. John Varlas is next, just underway on a Friday. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis, right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
At Sissy's Log Cabin, you'll find only spectacular natural diamonds that will remain treasured for generations. That promise is now symbolized by the engraved Sissy signature and sapphire, representing our guarantee of extraordinary service, selection, experience, and quality. Stop by any of our stores or visit Sissy'sLogCabin.com and experience the Sissy's promise for yourself. Find a jeweler for a lifetime, only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Hey folks, Ryan McElroy here with Sunrise Buick GMC. I know the temps are going up, but the prices are dropping here at the Sunrise Super Summer Sale. Huge selection of new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Discounts up to $6,500 and a $12 million used car inventory. If you're not 100% happy with your car, don't pay another penny on it. Top dollar for trade-ins, or we'll just buy it from you. Bad credit, slow pay, bankruptcy, it's okay at Sunrise. Call, click, or come on in to any of the 3 Sunrise locations here in town. Covenant Pike, Wolf Chase, or Carnival, come check us out at sunrisememphis.com. We make it fun to buy a car.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Right now, got one accident on the roadways. That's Macon at Home Street. That's Macon at Home Street is your only accident. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
It's Friday. One of the best days of the week. I would argue Saturday number 1, Friday number 2. The weekend just about here. The sports weekend should be terrific. Lots going on. Things coming together. One of those times of the year, especially in a few weeks when basketball camps open up and you got football, you got basketball, you got baseball, and you got baseball postseason right around the corner. And then soccer and NASCAR playoffs and things of that nature, if you're into that. The Ryder Cup's coming up. But, of course, high school football. That's a priority right now because John Varlas is with us.
It's time for Greg and Eli's weekly visit with John Varlas of the Daily Memphian. Check out John's prep sports coverage and more at dailymemphian.com. Now, here's John Varlas with Greg and Eli.
He is the award-winning Daily Memphian prep reporter, but so much more. John does so much more, and there's nobody that covers the preps and knows all about the preps, not just prep football, than Mr. John Varlas from the Daily Memphian. You can follow him on Twitter at John Varlas. Catch him every Friday, all year long, talking with us here on Sports 56 Mornings. JV, how are you?
Hey, good morning, Greg. Good morning, Zach, and good morning to all the listeners out there. It's Friday. It's Football Friday. For my money, it's the best day of the week, but we won't quibble over that because Saturday's pretty cool, too.
60s tonight.
Oh.
So we're not yet there, but we're getting closer and closer to maybe some fall weather. There is nothing, in my opinion, like a Friday night high school football game when it's cool and crisp out there. Nobody is sweating. Players aren't worried about having to hydrate every second. That's the best time of the year.
Well, I tell you what, I went to Briarcrest last night for a really good girls soccer match. Collierville played really well, and they beat Briarcrest 3-1. And I got home, and I told my wife before she went to bed that I was a little nippy last night because I was walking around, in my shorts and my T-shirt, my standard summer work attire, and got home and it was a little cold last night. So yeah, I'm kind of reassessing what I'm going to wear tonight. That might be the toughest decision of the day, honestly.
Throw a little something light in the car, and then if it gets a little cold, you go back out and you have it.
Time to layer up.
No, it's not that time yet. I do got to pick a bone with you here.
Yeah, and Bone Picking Friday.
Nothing personal. Bone Picking Friday.
Yeah.
You make me laugh. You're a great follower on social media, on Twitter. That's the one I'm on. And folks I encourage you to follow John Varlas. So John the other day tweets out that he went to Walgreens and they asked about a senior discount. And you were talking about that saying, I'm not even 55 and they're offering me a senior discount. I guess 55 is the magic number. And then you come back yesterday and go, wait a minute, I just realized I'm 55. You had no idea you were 55.
No,
come on.
So that's a story with like multi layers there.
All right.
Right, because it makes me look kind of goofy in two different ways. So I go up to the counter and the lady says, my bill this is a small bill. My bill was $6.61, and the lady says, "Well, I'll give you the senior discount today, sir. It's the first Tuesday of the month, and I will give you the senior discount." And I'm like, "All right, cool, I'll take it, thank you." But in my head, I'm going, "Well, I'm kind of getting over on one because I'm not 55 yet, right?" So and for some reason that got stuck in my head all day, and I'm just like walking around all day. Yay, I got my discount. I tricked, Walgreens. I put one over on Walgreens, but yes, in reality, so double check my math, right, Greg? So born in 68.
68.
Right? So 32 years to 2000, and then
23 is 55.
55.
Exactly.
So I've been walking around at age 55 since January, and I didn't even remember it.
Oh, your birthday's in January?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, you've been 55 for quite some time.
Right. I've been walking around 55 for 9 months like an idiot, and here I am, not even.
Now, let me ask you this.
So it's a little worrisome, actually,
yes.
on one level.
You got to worry about your memory now.
Yeah.
So were you okay that this woman assumed you were a senior?
Not a problem, because it took $1.40 off the bill, and it made me wish I had spent more, frankly. So no, I'm going to be actively looking for discounts wherever I can. Now I'm going to take advantage of it.
So discounts trump people thinking you're old.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
If I go in, I'll go into Target and I'll be like, "Is there a discount today?"
Pretty soon we're going to see John, the blue light special, 4 o'clock, eating dinner, right?
Just walking around with my hand out, looking for discounts everywhere we go.
All right, so last week, it was week 3. Already, we're now into week 4 of the high school football season. I know last week we had a number of those big-time Nashville privates against the private area schools from here, and I remember reading about MUS having a nice win. I think Christian Brothers lost, maybe Briarcrest lost as well. So what were your thoughts overall of those big matchups head-to-head versus Nashville?
Well, certainly, the big one was MUS, and they have a monster challenge ahead of them tonight with Chattanooga McCallie coming to town. McCallie is the number 1 team in the state in the largest private school division, and I believe in one of the national polls that floats around, McCallie also broke into that this week as well. So huge challenge tonight for MUS, but no, they're going to be playing with a lot of confidence. They're 3-0. They went to Nashville last week. They beat Montgomery Bell Academy 14-10. So another outstanding defensive performance. Those 10 points were the first 10 points they've allowed all year. So they're allowing a field goal a game, playing really, really well on defense. But, having said all that, this is going to be by far their toughest challenge tonight, and they're going to probably need a little of that Stokes Stadium magic, actually, as what one of my correspondents said to me this week. I mean, McCallie is just loaded. I mean, their best player is a defensive lineman named Carson Gentle, who is already committed to Tennessee. They have a defensive back who's committed to Virginia Tech. They have 2 really good running backs. Their quarterback, Jay St. Hilaire, is a really good player. So, I mean, they're just loaded. And, McCallie, with them being a boarding school, obviously everybody knows kind of the advantage that McCallie and Baylor have. They're allowed to bring kids in from different parts of the country, and in McCallie's case, even different parts of the northern hemisphere. They've got, they've had Canadian players in the past, and, they bring them to McCallie and they board them, and it's so that's a tough advantage. I mean, that's a tough disadvantage for MUS and really a lot of the teams on McCallie's schedule. But so it's going to be tough. It's going to be a big challenge. But I think there's going to be a nice crowd over there at Stokes Stadium. And if MUS can somehow find a way to get past this one, they'd really be onto something special. And but honestly, even if they don't, I think this has the potential to be a really, really good MUS team.
Not to dwell too much on this particular game, but you talked about their stellar defense. Who's a player or two you want to shout out about the MUS defense that leads the way?
Oh, well, I mean, Brandon Nicholson, of course, is the defensive back who's committed to Stanford. I mean, he's the top recruit. But Mekhi Shaw has been outstanding on both sides of the ball, really, for MUS in the secondary. Hudson Schoaf is a terrific linebacker. He's got major all-state potential. The defensive line has played well. Catcher Miller is their nose tackle, and he's a wrestler, and he's kind of stepped in and filled some of that void on the D line, that lost Deion Stutz tragically in the offseason. So catchers played well. I mean, but really it's just been a team effort. Those guys are those guys do what they're coached to do, and they're coached well, and they play good assignment football. So far, it hasn't been anything super fancy or super complicated from MUS. They're just doing their job and making stops, and for them, hopefully it can continue tonight against a really, really good McCallie team.
Week 4 began last night. Any highlights from last night we need to share? I noticed that, was it Collierville that played last night?
Yeah, Collierville played after 3 really tough games. Collierville got a bit of a breather last night, and they beat Douglas 57-0, like you would expect them to handle a team like Douglas. Actually, Greg, the game of the night was at Crump Stadium last night. So Sheffield and Hamilton met, arguably probably the best 2 teams in Region 8 3A, and Sheffield came out on top 44-38. 2 great individual performances in that one. So Raydarius Jackson, the talented wide receiver defensive back for Sheffield, scored 4 touchdowns. He scored he scored 2 rushing touchdowns. He threw for a touchdown, and he caught a pass for a touchdown, and he also intercepted a pass. But he was kind of outdone by Jordan McKinley from Hamilton. Now, check out what Jordan did last night, Greg. He intercepted a pass, so he's already got 7 interceptions through 4 games. And,
nose for the ball.
Well, the listeners will remember last year,
right,
Jaquan Davis from Fairleigh tied the state interception record. So Jordan's already got 7 through 4 games, but he scored 3 touchdowns on special teams. He brought back 2 kickoffs for a touchdown and a punt for a touchdown last night. So just an incredible game back and forth. Sheffield got up early. Jordan McKinley and Hamilton, brought it back and made it, super close in the second half, and Sheffield was able to pull it out. And now Sheffield is 2-0, and they've kind of got the inside track on the region championship with that one. That was a big victory. I know Hamilton came into that one with a lot of confidence, taking, kind of the new kids on the block thing, and Sheffield is the defending region champion. But Sheffield was able to withstand everything Hamilton threw at them last night and come out with a really good victory, thanks in large part to Raydarius Jackson.
Is Jackson a senior?
Jackson is a junior, and who's
looking at him?
He's got major potential, Greg. I mean, he's like 6'3". He's
good size.
Yeah, probably needs to bulk up a little more, to get to college. He's probably like 175-ish right now, but he's got great speed. He went to spring fling as a track man in the 400 in the spring, so he's got terrific athletic ability, like you said, great size, great nose for the football, and just another good player over there at Sheffield too. They're actually producing some really good football players here over the last few years, and Raydarius is just another one of them.
All right, so tonight we talked about a big challenge for MUS. What else do you like that's on the schedule for tonight?
Well, it's an interesting game at Germantown, kind of for historical reasons, as Murfreesboro Riverdale comes to Germantown. So Germantown, of course, they're 3-0. They're number 1 in our Dandy Dozen. Big win last week against Houston. Riverdale's coming to town, and it's the I don't know if they scheduled it this way on purpose or if it just worked out that this way. But the last time Germantown and Riverdale played was 2003, which was in the state championship game. Germantown won 10-7. 20th anniversary of that state championship, and Riverdale's coming to
that's pretty cool
again. So yeah, should be a good game. Both teams are ranked in the state poll. In Class 6A, I think Riverdale was like 7th or 8th, and I think Germantown was 5th again this week. And that was a really kind of really gritty victory last week for Germantown too. Houston had marched down and scored with about 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter to pull to within 14-13, and they line up to kick the extra point, which for Houston is automatic because they have a really good kicker. But Tayshawn Jefferson comes in around the end, blocks it, kind of preserves the lead there for Germantown. 14-13, they escape, and that was a major victory for Germantown under some tough circumstances and against a good Houston team last week.
Do you recall maybe a player or two, a star from that 2003 team?
Offhand, I don't, and maybe some of the listeners can, but it's real interesting. It's funny, Greg, the way the numbers are kind of lining up for Germantown this year. So they've won 2 state championships in their history, in 1983 and in 2003. So do the math. 83, 2003. What year is this?
2023.
Right. So they've won 2 state championships, both of them at 20-year intervals, and who knows how this year is going to turn out, but obviously they have a very good team. I think some of the guys from that 1983 team are going to have sort of a reunion kind of thing tonight, and I think some of them are actually going to speak to the team before the game.
Nice.
So that's kind of cool too. Yeah, always good to salute your history and your past as well as your present.
All right, we got some text questions for you. We'll do that after a timeout. If you want to hit us up on the Sports 56 listener lines by texting in at 901-360-8255 or send us a message via Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or on the website sportsmemphis.com. More with John Varlas when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair because they just don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance carriers each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. This is why you call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates and consultation and love to assist homeowners with their claims. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, and diagnosing problems is second to none. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. And the best part of all you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and even Mulehide. We offer best-in-class warranties on all of our jobs, up to 50 years. When it comes to roofs and restoration, call Metro Builders to schedule your free inspection. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop, here on Sports 56, Real Sports Talk.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Morning!
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Sing it, John. Welcome back, everybody. John's looking at me like, are you crazy? No Eli today. Greg Gaston, Zach Boyd, John Varlas. As we talk a little prep football. Coming up at 8:05, we'll talk Titans. They get ready for the start of their season on Sunday. Nick Suss will join us, Titans beat writer for the Tennessean. Got a text from the 901 about Germantown and Riverdale as they will play again tonight. And you were talking about 2003. Correct.
Yeah, well, yeah,
right.
It's kind of some, like I said, it's kind of some neat symmetry with, the last time Germantown and Riverdale played was exactly 20 years ago, and it was in the state championship game that Germantown won, which was also their last state football title.
Well, the texter says Germantown played Riverdale for the state championship, I guess, also in 1995. I arrived here at that time. Terrence Patterson, Mitch Baker, Corey Peterson.
Yeah.
Corey Peterson, who I remember one of the first guys I remember covering when I came here to Memphis. Germantown lost a close one, 14-10. Why does it say 14-10, 10-7?
10-7 was the score of the 2003 games.
Oh, okay. So 14-10 in 95, 10-7 in 2003. The game, I don't know which one he's talking about, was played at Vanderbilt Stadium. I guess that's where they held the state championship?
That sounds right, yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the text there. Tennessee Tom wants you to talk a little Arlington Bartlett.
Well, Arlington is going to have to find a way to regroup against a really tough opponent. So Arlington went to, I can't remember if they went or not, but they lost to Whitehaven last week, 50-7. Really impressive victory for Whitehaven, which of course everybody knows they missed the playoffs last year for the first time in eons. But it seems like they're playing some really good football so far this year, and they kind of put it on Arlington last week. They won 50-7, so that's two really tough back-to-back games for Arlington, because Bartlett, after that week one loss to Lausanne or to MUS, they've come back and they've beaten Lausanne, and then last week they beat a really good Collierville team. Jaron Johnson, the running back at Bartlett, went a little nuts. He ran for 274 yards and 4 touchdowns. And so obviously Arlington's going to have to find a way to stop him, but they're also going to have to find a way to stop Cam Alexander and Jade Nealand in that passing game that's also been really effective for Bartlett as well. So another tough challenge for Arlington tonight, but there's no easy games in Region 8 6A, and this is just another good test.
Another texter said that 90. We had the text at 95, Riverdale and Germantown. This texter says it was 94. So I'm not sure if it was 94 or 95.
It was definitely in that neighborhood.
Mid 90s. Somebody wants to know about Overton. They play Central.
That's going to be a good game between two teams with some playoff aspirations. So the big game in Region 8 5A, of course, is out at Munford, where Zach's Southwind Jaguars are invading, and both of those teams are ranked in the Dandy Dozen, and both of those teams are undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Munford is second. They're ranked in the state poll again this week, and Southwind is ranked 6th in the Dandy Dozen, and Southwind is coming off a really nice victory last week. They kicked a field goal on the last play of the game to beat Center Hill 17-14 and stay undefeated. Munford is coming off a tough win against Melrose last week too. So those two teams have kind of been on a collision course at the top of the region, and that one's going to have decide a lot about the region title. But the Overton Central game is also going to have a lot of playoff implications as well. Central was really explosive last week against Craigmont. Tony Van in the running game, Jeremiah Patton and his brother Robbie Patton, all those skill guys for Central played well last week. And so the task for Overton is going to be obviously find a way to slow those guys down, because they were just lights out last week, and it looks like Central might be clicking a little bit on offense.
My buddy Eric actually hit you up on Twitter and said, hey, John Varlas, the 83 we keep going back a decade. Yeah. The 83 Germantown Red Devils gave up only 13 points in the playoffs. Mike O'Neill, our friend Mike O'Neill, was part of that team. Eric's a proud Germantown High School alum.
Well, sure he was, and some great football history in Germantown, and this team has a chance, like I said, to write some history of its own. I mean, they just have a tremendous collection of players. I mentioned
Gene Robinson's a hell of a coach.
He is, and I mentioned Tayshaun Jefferson, who was kind of the hero last week. But they've got multiple guys with D1 offers. Greg, the quarterback, Cordero Walker, B.J. Blake, the running back, Jamarian Morrow, the wide receiver, who's a junior. He's got numerous Power 5 offers. Keeson Shepard, the big lineman, is committed to Mississippi State. Daniel Anderson on the D-line is committed to North Carolina. DJ Allen is committed to Central Florida. So, I mean, just talent everywhere you look at Germantown, and they're just really good and well coached. And like I said, they've got a chance to do some special things. But, just getting out of the region, though, is going to be challenge enough. So first things first for Germantown.
All right, let's get to a few more texts. I know you did talk about this actually in the starter segment, but somebody texted in and said, any love for the Collierville girls soccer win over Briarcrest?
Well, for sure. They handed Briarcrest. It was the first loss of the season last week or last night for Briarcrest. 3-1 victory for Collierville. They played really well. Hillary Shikuku with 2 goals. And, people might know that Hillary is also one of our very best basketball players, so she's just a tremendous two-sport athlete. She scored twice. And I'm blanking on the third goal, so I apologize to the young lady. But yeah, no, great performance from Collierville.
Shikuku, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Love that name.
That's her name. Yeah.
Shikuku.
Hillary's a terrific athlete. I mean, she's a great basketball player, and she's not too shabby on the soccer pitch either.
There you go.
She's really, really good.
You another texter asked you about Macaulay MUS. You talked about that one already. Let's move on. John from Covington says, what is wrong with Covington this year?
That's a good question. I mean, they really had trouble generating any kind of offense at all last week against Dyersburg. And, certainly Dyersburg is a quality opponent. But, yeah, hopefully Covington can get it rolling. They're 1-2. I mean, obviously there's plenty of time, and I don't think their playoff position or anything like that is in jeopardy. But, no, they need to find a way to get that offense going and start generating some points and getting some victories.
What do you think about Whitehaven, White Station at Southwind?
Oh, that's going to be one of the biggest Whitehaven, White Station games in quite a long time, Greg. I mentioned Whitehaven coming off the big win over Arlington. Christopher Talley at running back and Kadarius Jones, especially at wide receiver. Skill guys for Whitehaven have just been really, really strong so far. And White Station, they're 8 seconds away, Greg, from being 3-0 themselves. They lost to Christian Brothers in week 1, and they have subsequently come back and defeated Manassas and Cordova. So this game is massive. From a standing standpoint, not only will the winner of this game be 3-1 overall, but the winner of this game will be 2-0 in the Region 8-6A, the tough region we always talk about. And that's huge, for two teams that missed the playoffs last year. I mean, this is a massive game at Southwind.
Craigmont at Millington?
Well, Craigmont, they struggled last week stopping Central, so Millington's going to be a good test for them. McCoy Pugh is a very, very accomplished veteran quarterback for the Trojans. Jyshawn Anderson's making plays for them as well. So Millington can put some points on the board, and Craigmont's going to have to play better defensively than they did last week for sure.
Houston or Cordova, any issues for the Mustangs?
Well, I think Houston bounces back. Tough loss last week against Germantown. They will certainly feel like they probably should have won that game. At one point, Greg, they got down to the 1 yard line and didn't, and came away with no points. So they're probably kind of kicking themselves on some things that they maybe could have done differently. So yes, I think Houston rebounds this week against Cordova, which is playing better under John Doughton than they were last year for sure.
Who are your top 5 in order right now in your Dandy Dozen for this week?
Well, Germantown's number 1, Munford is number 2, and that's if you're a Southwind fan, you kind of like to see Munford at number 2, Greg, because we've had 4 different teams in the number 2 spot. Bartlett was preseason number 2; they lost. Then Houston went into the 2 spot. They lost. Collierville went into the 2 spot.
So it's a jinx spot, huh?
So far, it is a jinx spot. So, but right now, Munford's number 2. I've got MUS at number 3. Who do I have at number 4? I don't remember.
You can remember.
I got Bartlett.
Okay.
I got Bartlett at number 4, and I've got Collierville at number 5. So I like my top 5 right now, but everything is subject to change, and yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see if Munford can kind of avoid that jinx. Playing at home is certainly going to help, but man, Southwind is good. They've got some dudes, especially Kelvin Perkins, the quarterback. Man, he is really, really good, and I'm excited to see him play.
John is the man. He rattles off all these names of the kids playing every sport, the statistics, the scores, off the top of his head. He has no notes. He never uses notes. Then I asked him for his top 5, and his dandy does, and he can't remember number 4.
Well, I got 1, 2, 3, and 5. That's awful good, right?
Your list you put together, but you're rattling off names like you're an encyclopedia. You are the best. He is John Varlas, Daily Memphian Prep Reporter, the award-winning Daily Memphian Prep Reporter, but so much more. You can follow him on Twitter at John Varlas. Of course, he's keeping up with Memphis 901 FC. I think they're on the road tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought they were at home tomorrow.
Maybe they're at home. I don't know.
Look, I walked around for...
They were at home Wednesday, right?
Well, I was walking around for 9 months not knowing how old I was, Greg. You're asking me where 901 FC is tomorrow? Come on.
But they got a big win on Wednesday. Beat Tampa Bay, 3-2.
Big win against Tampa Bay, and they're really excited about this young player that they brought in on loan. They brought him in on an 18-month loan from a first division club in Argentina.
Right.
So clearly the commitment is there to make a push, not just for the rest of this season, but for the future as well. They've really committed to bringing in some quality players this year, and that was a big win last on Wednesday, Greg. In the past, that's the kind of game 901 FC would have lost. Taking it into stoppage time and conceding. In past years, they've had a kind of a knack for doing that, unfortunately. But it went the other way last week. So good for them. They're playing good ball. They're firmly in the playoff picture right now, and hopefully they can keep it up.
Just another one of the beats that John covers, Memphis 901 FC. John, great stuff as always. We'll talk to you next Friday.
I appreciate you a lot, Greg. Going to get my senior discount, right? I'm going to go see if I can find a free breakfast somewhere.
Take advantage of it. And thank you, folks, for all your texts and questions for John. We appreciate it. We will take a timeout. When we come back, we open up hour number 2 talking Titans in the NFL with Nick Suss. Then the Memphis-Arkansas State game. We continue the week-long preview leading up to tomorrow night's game in Jonesboro. Matt Stoltz will join us, the voice of the Red Wolves. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Fiveash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Greg is a real Prevagen user and paid testimonialist.
I'm Greg. I'm 68 years old. Grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. Majored in business administration. I do motivational speaking in addition to substitute teaching. Part of the reason for my motivational speaking is I kind of feel like I have a calling or giving back to the younger generation. The golden rule is do unto others, you'd have them do unto you. My wife, Wanda, is a senior flight attendant. She's been flying for over 30 years. I think most adults will start realizing that they don't recall things as quickly as they used to, or they don't remember things as vividly as they once did. I've been taking Prevagen for about 3 years now. People say to me periodically, man, you got a memory like an elephant. It's really, really helped me tremendously.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life. Prevagen is available in stores everywhere. based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who were cognitively normal or mildly impaired.
These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
A cold shower is no way to start your day. Purchase a new water heater from the pros at Conway Services, and you may be eligible for up to $2,000 in federal tax credits. Call 384-3511 to schedule your appointment. Visit conwayservices.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 64210, 64365 EAS, MS 19688.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
We interrupt this broadcast for special news and information concerning family leisure.
The world's biggest spa sale is back and bigger than ever at Family Leisure. How is that possible? Well, let me tell you. You start off with 50 different spa models to choose from 5 different manufacturers. Then you throw in up to 30% off in-stock spas and swim spas. But is that all? Oh, no. You get free upgrades on all in-stock spas, plus 24 months, same as cash. Wow! This is the kind of sale that you just can't have every day. But it's happening right now at Family Leisure, the world's biggest spa sale. Soak in the savings right now at Family Leisure, Witten Road and I-40. You know the place where family and fun come together.
Please remain calm and walk. Don't run to Family Leisure. And now back to your regular programming.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
We got a couple accidents on the roadways. I-240 West at Getwell, the right shoulder is blocked. That's 240 West at Getwell, the right shoulder is blocked. Also, new accident on Thomas at Marsh Avenue. That's Thomas at Marsh. And 2 accidents close to each other. Macon at Home Street. That's the one we reported earlier. And then Jackson Avenue at Pope Street. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:03 the time. Hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Friday, September 8th, 2023 edition. Greg Gaston, Zach Boyd. Eli is off today. He will return on Monday. We're going to talk some Titans and NFL with Nick Suss in just a moment. We are broadcasting live from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, the world's biggest spa sale going on right now at 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 67, partly cloudy skies. We're looking at a high today of about 86. There is a chance for some rain, possibly even some thunderstorms, but only about a 40% chance tonight. A few clouds with a low of 65 degrees. Hour 2 of the program is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. They are your family's jeweler at 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. Each Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know there are 23 players from the greater Memphis area, that includes northern Mississippi, western Arkansas, that play for either the Memphis Tigers and the Arkansas State Red Wolves, who will battle tomorrow night in Jonesboro. 13 on the Tigers roster, 10 on the Red Wolves roster. James Gaddis Jewelers, your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters. Go visit James and the gang. They are full-service jewelers with 2 bench jewelers ready to serve you. All their diamonds are independently graded and certified. They know there's a lot of competition, so they make sure they have a price point to suit everyone's budget. So whether it's that beautiful engagement ring, wedding ring, personally designed wedding sets, or any of their other fine jewelry, like watches and custom-made jewelry, gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants, and so much more, it's James Gaddis Jewelers. Locally owned and operated, family-owned and operated. They've been around for decades here in Memphis. Check them out this weekend, James Gaddis Jewelers. Without further ado, it's time to talk some Tennessee Titans, and we always appreciate being able to talk to Nick Suss. He's the Titans beat writer for the Tennessean. You can follow him on Twitter at Nick Suss. He joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Nick, how are you today?
Good. I absolutely completely remembered I was doing this, and I'm not sitting in a Starbucks drive-thru. Thank you for giving me the credit for that.
Even in a Starbucks drive-thru, having you on, we appreciate it with your knowledge. You do such a great job in covering the Titans. Of course, those probably remember Nick who would come on the show when he was the Ole Miss Rebels beat writer and would join us for that. But now it's all about the NFL and the Titans, and they open up with the Saints. I was saying the other day we were making our predictions for the upcoming season around the NFL. And I said, I just don't know about the Titans. They're in a weak division. I think they could be really, really good. But if they were mediocre, I can also see that. How do you size up the team just kind of generally before we get into some specifics?
I think that's probably a fair assessment. I think if you go by last year's records, the Titans probably have the fourth or fifth easiest schedule in the NFL this year between playing not just the AFC South, but also the NFC South, those games against the Falcons and Panthers. Saints and Bucks are going to help you out. And yeah, I mean, this is a team that had a pretty darn good defense last year, injuries notwithstanding, and they return most of those players and, in fact, probably got better on defense with some free agent acquisitions. And if Ryan Tannehill's not out last year, if he plays one of the last 3 games of the season, you probably make the playoffs. So, I mean, this isn't a team that's in disaster crisis mode. This is a team that is theoretically as good or better than it was last year when they started 7-3 and then injuries derailed the season. So yeah, there's a path to, you don't play the Chiefs this year, you don't play the Bills this year, your schedule's easier than it's been in 3 or 4 years. You're going to get the added boost of your own division being on the weaker side. Yeah, this team could be good, but good to mediocre, it's tough to say the line when the Titans, I think I looked this up, are the only team in the NFL starting a quarterback, running back, and number 1 receiver who are all 29 years old or older. I mean, there's a lot of veteran experience on this team, but with that also comes a little bit older than most teams. Yeah, so you never know.
And it reared its ugly head, as you mentioned, the injuries last year. You know, these guys stay healthy. Obviously, you think that they're going to be battling for that division title. The Jags will certainly be extremely tough. They made a jump last year, but you mentioned Tannehill staying healthy. Derrick Henry, the same thing. Can he continue to have the workload that he's had throughout his career? Last year, he was banged up. Can he do it again?
Yeah, I think about Derrick Henry the way I think about his alma mater sometimes of, I'm not going to bet against Alabama until Alabama proves to me that I should bet against Alabama.
Right.
I'm not going to bet against Derrick Henry. I did this research over the summer, and it's kind of fascinating to me. Derrick Henry's 29 years old. He'll be 30 in January. I think in the last 10 years was the parameters I set, maybe since 2010, somewhere around there. There have been as many 28-year-old running backs who have rushed for 1,000 yards as there have been 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36-year-old running backs combined. Like, jeez. 29 tends to be the year where running backs start to slow down. But Derrick Henry's not the other running backs who have played in the NFL since 2010. And if you look at the people who did rush for 1,000 yards after they hit 29, it's Adrian Peterson, it's Frank Gore, it's guys who are on their way to Canton. And since Derrick Henry's on that trajectory himself, it's kind of hard to say, oh, he's going to hit that age wall, because the guys who don't hit the age wall are the guys who are best at playing running back. And Derrick Henry has proven himself to be best at playing running back for this generation. And I don't know, I don't want to say, oh, he's 29, he's going on 30, he's going to run off that cliff, because it doesn't necessarily make sense that he's the guy to predict to do that.
But with that said, does Mike Vrabel lessen the load just a bit? And if that is the case, who are the guys ready to take up some of that load, including the rook Tyjae Spears, who I loved at Tulane? Tell us about him. And again, what do you think about that original question? Will they lighten the load a little bit?
Yeah, I think the best way to put it is the roster is set up so that they can lighten the load. I think the thing I've been saying this past couple of weeks previewing the season is there are probably going to be 2 or 3 games this year where you look up and think, dang, Derrick Henry touched the ball 35 times and ran for 180-something. Like, that's still going to happen. There's still going to be those games where he gets in his rhythm and the Titans offensive coordinator Tim Kelly just says, well, give him the ball, we're going to win. But I don't think that's going to be a 7, 8, 9, 10 times a year phenomenon like maybe it was in the past. I think that you have Tyjae Spears, who they picked in the 3rd round, who's been absolutely electric since he got on the team back in April. He looked great in OTAs, looked great in the preseason and training camp, all of that stuff. But you also have DeAndre Hopkins this year, who will obviously draw some attention away from the box. You have Treylon Burks, who they picked in the first round last year, who looked great in training camp before an LCL injury slowed him down. You have Chika Okonkwo at tight end, who I believe led all tight ends last year in yards per target. He just wasn't very used as a rookie, and so you kind of project him forward as somebody who can play a little bit more and be a little bit more productive in year two. You have these guys, and you have a healthy Ryan Tannehill for now. That should be more reminiscent, this roster, of when the Titans had Corey Davis and A.J. Brown and Jonnu Smith, and were able to kind of ride Derrick Henry to success. But if they didn't give the ball to Derrick Henry, they had people to get the ball to. That just simply wasn't the case last year.
Nick Suss joining us, Titans beat writer for the Tennessean. You can follow him on Twitter at Nick Suss. All right, you beat me to it. I wanted to go the next topic with the receiving core. You mentioned DeAndre Hopkins. First of all, how has he looked? What is his kind of attitude going into this season? And how is this going to be different than bringing in a Julio Jones where it did not work out?
Yeah, that is the question. That is essentially the question, is can DeAndre Hopkins be better than Julio Jones was, better than Andre Johnson was, better than Randy Moss was? The only way to say, yes, I'm confident that that's the case is I just look at DeAndre. Watch him play. Like he's looked good. Like he simply has looked good in camp. I don't necessarily think he's the guy that he was in 2019. I don't think that's too much of a jump, too far of a leap to say he's not the all-pro number one receiver in football anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But when he played last year, I want to say he was 10th in the NFL in yards per game. That's still pretty fantastic for a receiver, especially somebody in his 30s. He's a guy that he has always succeeded based off of volume, and the Titans are going to be able to approach him voluminously. Like, they're going to target him a lot, and if he gets targeted 10 or 11 times a game, he's probably going to catch 7 or 8 of them. And if you're sitting there, I think my projection for DeAndre is roughly 850 yards and 5 or 6 touchdowns this year. Last year, their leading receiver had 550 yards.
Jeez.
So if you get a 300-yard bump off of your number one receiver from last year, and the number two receiver had something around 500, and if Treylon Burks is up around 800, and that means you got about a 600, 650-yard bump over your top two year over year, that's a whole game worth of offense. That's a game and a half worth of offense. That's 2 games worth of offense just off of 2 players. That's good. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, if you have DeAndre Hopkins, that means you didn't need A.J. Brown in the first place. Like, he's not going to have the same production that A.J. Brown does this year, but he's going to have enough of an increase in production over what the Titans had on roster last year that it's going to be worth a win or two. And that's the crazy thing about receivers. I don't want to go into too much of a detour, but like, use last year as a case study. 3 of the 5 best receivers in the NFL changed teams. A.J. Brown goes to the Eagles, and they get 7 wins better. Tyreek Hill goes to the Dolphins, and they have the same record they did the year before. Devontae Adams goes to the Raiders, and they get 5 or 6 wins worse. Like, one receiver doesn't always predict the team's success is going to change, but it helps to have better players.
Well, as you know, part of the equation of having a successful receiver is not only a receiver that's talented, but a quarterback that can get him the ball and an offensive line that can protect. So that's my question. For years, I would watch the draft. I would see the Titans go out and get offensive linemen very early. Some panned out, some did not pan out. Where do they stand with their offensive line protecting for Tannehill?
I wish that I didn't have to say this, but I don't know. Like, it's a tricky situation where they have 4 starters who were not on the team last year and a 5th starter who is playing a new position compared to last year.
Wow. 4 new starters on the O-line? Wow.
Yeah, so Andre Dillard's at left tackle. He was a reserve with the Eagles last year. Peter Skoronski's at left guard. He was their first-round pick. Aaron Brewer is at center. He was their right guard last year. Right guard is Daniel Brunskill, who was a reserve with the 49ers last year, and the right tackle is Chris Hubbard, who was a reserve, I believe, with Cleveland last year, sorry. You look at those 5 guys, well, Cleveland had a pretty good offensive line. Philadelphia had a great offensive line. San Francisco had a great offensive line. being a reserve on those teams doesn't necessarily mean you're bad. So that could be an upgrade, but they're all unknowns. Andre Dillard's never been a starter in the NFL full-time. Chris Hubbard hasn't been a starter in the NFL, I want to say, since 2019 full-time. DeAndre Brunskill, I think, was last starter 2020 or 2021. And then Peter Skoronski's a rookie, and Aaron Brewer's never been a full-time center in the NFL. So I tend to believe the offensive line is upgraded over last year, but I don't know to what degree, because these guys are playing together for the first time, and in many cases, these guys are starting for the first time in 3 years, 4 years. It's tricky to project ahead. I do think the protection is going to be better than last year. I don't think that's necessarily a high bar to clear, but I really don't know what it's going to look like, because so many of these guys haven't played in such a long time.
Right. Nick, has Vrabel designated his 2 quarterback? Is it Levis or is it Willis? He still hasn't said anything?
No, he hasn't designated it. Maybe he will today, but I think the closest thing he said that is close to telling is it might depend on the matchups. It might be a game-by-game situation of what's going to be more fruitful if they have to go to a second quarterback, whether Malik will match up better with the defense or whether Levis will. I don't know. Right now, if you ask me what my hunch is, I would say it's going to probably be Malik earlier in the season, just based on Levis going through an injury in camp and Malik having the experience. And he took a couple of steps forward. He has looked better, but that is nothing more than a hunch, because they have kept it kind of close to the vest. And especially with Levis's injury the last couple of weeks, it's been hard to gauge what the rep count would have been if he was playing. And then you get into game week and all the reps go to Ryan Tannehill. It's not like they're rotating quarterbacks with the ones right now. So it's tricky to tell, but I'll put it this way. If the Titans have to use a backup quarterback this year, they're going to be better off than they were last year.
Oh, they're going to be better off. Okay.
Malik is better than he was last year, and Will Levis is better than Josh Dobbs was last year. That is my opinion.
Do you think they
They're
got a
still
steal?
Not great.
Did they get a steal in Levis?
They might have. Again, I want to see him play an NFL game first.
Sure.
But he looks competent. He looks like a rookie who needs to figure a few things out. I think that the hardest adjustment for a lot of rookie quarterbacks is you go from being the best player on the field to the 18th best player on the field, and you don't have to play hero ball anymore, and you can trust your line, and you can trust your receivers, and you can trust your running backs. And I think he just has to rewire his brain a little bit. You're the best high school player on the field. You're the best college player on the field. You're used to making the plays. All your listeners, you guys watched Kentucky last year. He had nothing around him. He had to make plays, and that isn't the case now. He can play within an offense. And this was the same for Malik Willis, that he had to adjust to that. I mean, before he got to the Titans last year, he had never called a play from a huddle or taken a snap under center. I mean, there are adjustments that you have to make. You can't just come to the NFL and do what you did in college, especially not when you played at Liberty. So they're both adjusting. That's probably the way I'd put it.
I realize every opponent's going to be different. Every situation is different. But in a generalization, is this going to be an old school team? And Mike Vrabel's kind of an old school coach, but this is going to be run the ball primarily, obviously throw when you have to, win ugly, defensive-oriented, low-scoring games. Is that what you expect from the Titans?
It's hard to not expect that. I don't necessarily think that it's going to be as pronounced as it was last year, where the team only broke 21 points one time, and they were trying to keep scores low and slow down games, or speed up games, rather. I don't know. I think that with Tim Kelly as the offensive coordinator this year, you're probably going to see a little bit more variation and variability from what the offense does. I think the defense is going to be really solid. I don't want to overinflate anything, but they were the number one run defense in the country for a reason last year, and I don't really see any indication as to why that run defense is going to get much worse. The pass defense was the worst in the NFL last year, and I do think that they will be a little bit better this year. Christian Fulton can stay healthy. Amani Hooker can stay healthy. You bring in Sean Murphy-Bunting from the Bucks to be a third corner. You have a little bit more depth there with Elijah Molden and Trey Avery, who get to kind of go back into reserve roles. I think the defense is going to be pretty good. You get Harold Landry back, who missed the entire season last year. You sign Arden Key to help the pass rush. I like the defense. I think they can play a lot of low-scoring games and win a lot of low-scoring games if they need to, but I do think the offense is going to be a little bit more modern than maybe what Titans fans saw last year.
All right, so as we say goodbye, your prediction, what do you think this year?
Oh, God. Right now, I think in print I'm committed to 9-8 and a wild card.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jacksonville's going to keep getting better. I think that's what young teams do, so I don't necessarily see a regression there. I think the Titans can win the division if things fall right. Obviously, Jacksonville's still somewhat of an unproven team, but I think the fact that they get to play the NFC South, and they should probably win 3 or 4 of those 4 games, and the fact that they will have games against Pittsburgh and Baltimore and the Chargers and the Dolphins and probably the other wild card candidates in the AFC, if they can win a couple of tiebreaker games there and if they can play well against their division and the NFC South, I think there's a path.
He is Nick Suss, Titans beat writer for the Tennessean. You can follow him on Twitter at Nick Suss. Nick, as always, thank you so much, and I'm sure we'll talk to you as the season progresses. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah, anytime, man.
Thank you now. He is good at what he does, covers the Titans. Make sure to follow him at the Tennessean, Nick Suss. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, they're good at what they do, and that's cooking up that delicious, slow-smoked barbecue. They've been doing it for years and years. You could dine in at any of their 4 establishments, Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Party packs start at just $7.49. They have lunch specials every single day. Of course, you can go through the drive-thru, no contact delivery. You can have any of the services like DoorDash deliver to your home or office. They'll cater your event, whatever you got coming up in your world. They'll start you as low as $8.99 per person for that delicious barbecue. Now, when you head on over for lunch or dinner today or this weekend, add a third of a rack of ribs for only $6.99. When you purchase an entree, whether it be that barbecue sandwich or their award-winning catfish plate, make sure if you are looking for a place to have a little party, little get-together, that you reserve your private party room today at Corky's, either the Cordova or the Olive Branch location. So call today to reserve your private party room. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. It's the Tigers in Arkansas State tomorrow night in Jonesboro. The voice of the Red Wolves joins us next. He's Matt Stoltz. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
If you want a great experience, you need to go to Genesis.
Meet Kendall Womble, who shopped several other jewelry stores but ended up at Genesis Diamonds with a bigger, better quality diamond for less.
Based on what I had seen elsewhere, I didn't know that this size diamond would be possible for me to have on my finger.
Are you ring shopping? Genesis Diamonds has one of the nation's largest selections of GIA certified diamonds at the guaranteed best prices, bar none.
You're going to get the most value for your dollar at Genesis Diamonds. You're going to get the best customer service in town and probably in the entire state.
And that's what Kendall really loved. The personal attention, the relaxed environment, the no-pressure shopping experience.
This jewelry store was like home. It wasn't walking into corporate America. Nothing's a sales pitch here. It's all genuine. They're like a family.
Genesis Diamonds.
There would be no reason that I could ever think of that you would not go to Genesis first. And if you leave Genesis and try to shop around, you will come back to Genesis.
Memphis's direct diamond importer at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Spencer here with ATC Fitness. There's no better time of the year than now. Football and fitness go hand in hand in the fall. And with individual screens on each piece of cardio and multiple big screens throughout the rest of the club, you'll never miss a bit of the action watching your favorite team. ATC Fitness continues to be the Mid-South's choice for fitness, family-owned for 30 years, and proud supporters of Coach Silverfield and the Memphis Tigers. Join online at atcfitness.com. ATC Fitness, exercise your right to look good.
When the weather gets better, I found a new place to really soak it in. It's the patio at the Commissary in Collierville. We all love the delicious Memphis-style barbecues. You can begin your barbecue fest with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos. Oh, those smoked chicken wings, they're terrific too. Then dig into the ribs or the barbecue shoulder. Get it chopped or pulled on a sandwich. A big sandwich, or you can get it on a plate. You've got choice, and you've got choice in places. Don't forget the Germantown Commissary as well. Comes with beans and slaw, deviled eggs they're famous for. And Brad, you can even order by the pound, a 6-pack or an 8-pack or even a 12-pack. The Boss Man salad, the chicken plate, the barbecue shrimp. There's something for everybody, and those great desserts. The best icebox lemon pie anywhere. Or my favorite, the banana pudding. Check out the patio, TVs for sports, and music on the weekends. You love the Commissary.
Sports 56 traffic.
Still working accident on Thomas at Marsh Avenue. Also 240 west at Getwell. The right shoulder is blocked there. Keep it right here. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 8:27 the time. No Eli today. He'll return on Monday. Greg Gaston, Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. We've been talking all week about tomorrow night's game in Jonesboro, Memphis and Arkansas State, and that'll continue in just a moment as we'll be joined by Matt Stoltz, the voice of the Arkansas State Red Wolves. Oh, by the way, this weekend we will have the Ole Miss Tulane game, which will be an interesting game from New Orleans at 12:30 here on Sports 56. Sunday, doubleheader NFL, Packers at Bears at 3, Cowboys at Giants at 7. Then we'll have the Monday night game for you, Bills at the Jets at 7. All right, update, Zach, on the United States and their hopes to get into the FIBA World Cup final. They're playing Germany right now. The winner would take on Serbia in the championship game, which knocked off Canada. What's the United States doing right now?
Right now, they are at halftime. Team USA is up 60-59.
60-59, so a close one against Germany. And Jaren Jackson Jr., once again, a non-factor.
No, but this time he wasn't on the floor. So
he wasn't in foul trouble. They just didn't play him. Steve Kerr didn't play him.
He didn't play him the entire second quarter. He has 2 points and 2 boards.
All right, thanks for the update. Without further ado, it is time to bring on the play-by-play voice for Arkansas State football, basketball, baseball. He does it all. You can follow him on Twitter at Red Wolf Voice. He's the play-by-play voice of the Red Wolves. He is Matt Stoltz, who joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Hey, good morning, Greg. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for joining us. So, rough one last weekend, obviously. What did Butch have to say after it was all said and done, and maybe earlier this week as he prepped for the Memphis game?
Well, you just have to turn the page. It was obviously a very rough start to the season, and I think the message is, look, everybody expected us to be 0-1, but the way it happened, I think, is kind of what stood out to everybody. And look, credit to Oklahoma. They came out and they wanted to make a statement. They were coming off their first losing season in 25 years, and you could tell that whoever they ended up playing in week one, they wanted to come out and make a statement. They were moving at a tempo that, I've seen a lot of up-tempo offenses over the years. I've never seen an offense move at the speed that Oklahoma was moving the other day. And I don't think our guys were necessarily ready for that type of speed. And when you go into an environment like that and you're playing in a game like that, and Arkansas State has that game on the schedule, as do most group of fives, where you go into a Power Five, you're collecting a paycheck in a game like that. And the Red Wolves have had instances in the past where they've gone and won games like that. But if you're going to compete, you have to get off to a good start. And the Red Wolves gave up a touchdown on the opening drive of that game. Then they go 3 and out. Once they get the ball back, they punt it away, and OU returns it for a touchdown. And before you can even blink, we're 2 minutes in and down 14-0, and everything just seemed to snowball after that. So I think the message has just been, hey, turn the page and try to move on to Memphis this week. And that's been the message all week. Hopefully they're able to do that.
That's all you can do. I was watching that game, and the word that popped into my head after, as you said, Matt, it got 14-0 just like that, was shell-shocked. It was like they were shell-shocked. And you didn't expect Arkansas State to go in there and win, nor would you expect a lot of teams that were in that situation. You go in, get your check, hopefully you play competitive football. That did not happen. But we know that Arkansas State is a team that will be competitive. They have the talent to be competitive, and they have been very, very competitive with Memphis with this long-standing series. So as they do get ready for this game on Saturday night, forget about that one. What do you expect to see from Arkansas State, not only this week, but in general this season?
Well, we expect a team that is going to take a big step this year. And this is year 3 for Coach Jones. And what he's done is he's come in, he's tried to build his own culture. And I know culture is probably the most overused word in all of college football, but he has his culture in place. And I will tell you, the first year, and this is as honest as I can be, the first year I walked through that building when his staff was here, it wasn't all his players. In fact, it was mostly players that he inherited. And when you have that mix sometimes of former staff's players and the players that the new coach has brought in, usually it's not a good mix, and there's different cliques in the locker room. And I'll tell you, I didn't enjoy walking through that building in year 1, but it was completely different last year. And Coach Jones has tried to kind of put his culture in place. And what he's done is he's gone out and turned in back-to-back #1 recruiting classes in the Sun Belt Conference each of the last 2 years now. Even with the losing seasons, they've been able to go out and recruit effectively. And look, I don't know, and Coach Jones will even admit this too, I don't know if you can still build a program this way, but he is trying to do it through the high school ranks and then go out and address needs through the transfer portal. And I think we see the programs now, the Colorados, the Texas State, the last weekend, they completely flipped their program through the transfer portal, and they might go on to have success this season. But I think Coach Jones has more of a long-term mindset. And kind of going back to the last couple of years, they won 2 games in year 1. They won 3 games last year, but I will tell you, they were much, much more competitive a season ago than they were in year 1. In fact, the Red Wolves led in 8 of the 12 games that they played in last year in the fourth quarter, including the Memphis game, where they led with a little over 2 minutes to go before Memphis came back and won. So they were very competitive last year. I think just trying to find that competitive depth, the ability to finish those games in the fourth quarter, that's been a big emphasis in the offseason. And as far as expectations go, I think coming into this season, the expectation was to take that next step and try to become bowl eligible once again. And that's something that Arkansas State has done. you certainly know, being as close as you are, Greg, I mean, there was a 9-year stretch where the Red Wolves had 9 straight winning seasons, 9 straight bowl games, and won 5 conference championships. We can win here, and we're trying to get back to that.
Matt Stoltz is joining us. He's the play-by-play voice for the Arkansas State Red Wolves. You can follow him on Twitter at Red Wolf Voice. It's very interesting. You talk about Arkansas State finishing games last year. Same deal with Memphis. In fact, one of the slogans that they'll wear on shirts during practice is finish. They had games where they lost leads late in games and should have won more games than they did. So both teams are kind of in that same boat of trying to finish games where they've started well, had leads, and then for whatever reason lost leads. But as far as this team this year in Jonesboro, you got a veteran quarterback in JT Shrout. And as you know, Matt, you've had really good quarterback production over the years. We didn't get a chance really to see what he can do in that Oklahoma game. But I know there are high expectations from a guy who started at Tennessee, was at Colorado before Coach Prime cleaned house, and you guys are happy to have him.
Yeah, I like JT a lot. He's a 6th-year senior. He's experienced. We have a couple of young, very talented quarterbacks behind JT, but they are very young, and they don't have the experience that JT brings to the table. And one thing that JT has brought is just the ability to come in and command an offense. You want somebody that can be that field general type, and I think JT is that. He was the starter at Colorado a season ago, and we found out, actually JT found out the same time everybody else did, when he lost his job at Colorado. As soon as Deion got up there at the press conference and said, "Hey, this is my son standing behind me. He's your starting quarterback." And then JT, he knew that he had to look for a new home if he was going to start this season. So we're glad that he came here. He is very talented, and I don't think the numbers really showed how well he played last week. Again, he didn't have much of a chance at times at Oklahoma, but he was 12 of 26. I think 5 or 6 of those incompletions were drops. He didn't turn the ball over, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does this week, because I think it's going to be a much better illustration of what he can actually do.
Matt, with the realization that this is not a Sun Belt Conference game and winning the Sun Belt Conference is the utmost importance for the Red Wolves, but how important is this game against the Tigers? What has it been like this series throughout the history? And I know there's going to be a little break before they return to playing. Is this something you would like to see annually?
Oh, my gosh, yes. I mean, A-State and Memphis is something that our fan base looks forward to. It's the most played rivalry in school history for the Red Wolves, and this is the 62nd all-time meeting. And just in the time that I've been at Arkansas State, some of my favorite games that I've ever called, and this is my 19th year here, have been Memphis games. And Arkansas State was able to come out on top in several of those games. Of course, we had the win in 2006, the Hail Mary at the Liberty Bowl. Then the following year, the big comeback from 25 down in the second half to win in Jonesboro. We certainly remember well the 2011 win with Coach Freeze when he was at Arkansas State, and that was the most lopsided win in the series back in 2011. And then the following year won as well. But you go back to 2013, Memphis has now won the last 4 matchups between the two teams. So it's a losing streak the Red Wolves are trying to end this weekend. And you're right. If they lose this weekend, then they're going to carry the losing streak at least into, I believe, 2026, because these two teams don't play again until 26, and then we'll crank up the series once again. But it is something that our fan base very much looks forward to, and I'm looking forward to the Tigers being here on Saturday night.
I am looking forward to being there as well with the Tigers. Look, you and I both know that this is a really good series. 2 years ago, Memphis winning big in Jonesboro. The Red Wolves come back feverishly. I think it was Blackman who came off the bench, slinging it around, had the Hail Mary at the end, came up a little short, 55-50. Last year, as you said, Arkansas State's leading here in Memphis, and the Tigers come back. So these are close. So I try to caution our fan base, don't look at 73-0 last weekend and Memphis 56-14 and put it together and say the Tigers are going to win by 1,000. I know the odds makers say 21.5 for the point spread. I said, don't look at that either. This is going to be a competitive game. We know how important it is for both schools. So I'll leave you with this, Matt. If the Red Wolves are to win this game, what will need to happen?
Got to get off to a good start, Greg. I mean, I think that's the most important thing. And I talked about it last week with Oklahoma. If you're going to compete in that game, you have to get off to a good start. But if the Red Wolves are going to rebound this week, I think you've got to come out and make a statement early on in the ball game. And then I think, this can be a game well into the second half. And you mentioned it. I mean, the last couple of years, it's gone down to the wire. And I'll brag on the Memphis fan base here. And Coach Jones has done the same thing. Last year, when the Red Wolves had that lead with a little over 2 minutes to go, there were a couple of penalties back-to-back, and, he said many times, that's the loudest environment we were in all of last season, and the crowd at the Liberty Bowl made a huge difference in that game. So the Red Wolves are thankful they've got the home field tomorrow night, and hopefully it does come down to the fourth quarter again, and we can see a really good football game.
Matt, looking forward to it. I'll see you sometime on Saturday, sometime tomorrow. Really appreciate it, and continued success up there in Jonesboro.
Always great talking with you, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Matt. Voice of the Red Wolves, Matt Stoltz, and his perspective from the Arkansas State point of view about how important this series is. Folks, get ready for the NFL season. Got underway last night with the Lions' upset win at Kansas City. And there are some incredible offers from FanDuel. They are America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets, and that's guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube television. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is super easy to use. You can bet on everything from spreads to player props and more. I went for the player prop last night with field goals. Unfortunately, came up a little short. Riley Patterson did not even get a field goal attempt, so I lost on that one. Apologies on that pick, but we'll try to bounce back this weekend. I do like Jacksonville, the Jacksonville game, the over. I do like the Commanders to win over the Cardinals and bet the over in that one, so I'll probably parlay. Visit FanDuel.com/Gasman. Kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel is the official partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or over, present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. NFL Sunday Ticket offer ends on September 18th. So act now. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan is required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use excluded. Subscription renews. Cancel at any time. When we return, we got one final segment here in hour 2, and it's open. If you want to hit me up, Sports 56 listener lines, call in or text in anything we've talked about, 901-360-8255. I'll get back to the headlines of the morning. And then hour 3, Brandon Lang will join us. He'll handicap some of the big NFL and college football games this weekend. And then we'll go with our pick 6. No, we'll go with 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation, give you a chance to win a great prize package. It's all coming up as we continue here on Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair because they just don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance carriers each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. This is why you call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates and consultation and love to assist homeowners with their claims. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, and diagnosing problems is second to none. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. And the best part of all you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, Certainteed, Owens Corning, and even Mulehide. We offer best-in-class warranties on all of our jobs, up to 50 years. When it comes to roofs and restoration, call Metro Builders to schedule your free inspection. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is easy to use. You can bet on everything from spreads to player props and more. So visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789. NFL Sunday Ticket offer ends 9/18/23. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use excluded. Subscription renews. Cancel anytime.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo light, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Looking for your next car? Give Car Corner a try. Car Corner, located at 2653 Mount Moriah. They specialize in cars under $15,000. Bad credit? No problem at Car Corner. CarCornerMemphis.com. That's CarCornerMemphis.com. They even have cash cars under $5,000. That's Car Corner at 2653 Mount Moriah. CarCornerMemphis.com. Look for the building with the teal green roof.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. Final segment here in hour number 2. The United States battling Germany at the FIBA World Cup. Semifinal action. What's an update now on the score? What do you got, Zach?
U.S. just scored. The lead is 70-66.
Third quarter, I assume?
Third quarter, Germany is up.
Oh, Germany's still leading?
Yes.
So Germany up 70-66. The United States Germany winner will take on Serbia for the FIBA World Cup title, which is the FIBA World Cup is basically a precursor for the Olympic Games next year. Doesn't guarantee that the winner here is going to win, as the rosters will change. There'll be an overhaul with a number of these rosters, including the United States roster. I thought for sure earlier in this tournament, Jaren Jackson Jr., with his presence, blocking shots and rebounding, would be a shoo-in to be on this team for next year. I know there's not a ton of really good, athletic, American bigs in the NBA. Most of them right now, you look at the best, are from outside the country. Now, if Joel Embiid, who has, I believe now, dual citizenship, decides to play for the United States, he could play for France. Is it France? Yeah, Embiid.
Embiid, France?
Is it France and the United States?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, the Olympics in France.
No. He's a citizen of where? Wait, what country? Why am I thinking France? Is that wrong?
I don't know. I
Find out
never
where
heard
he's
Embiid having a dual citizenship with France.
Where is his original? Where's he from? Because he now has dual citizenship because he's now a United States citizen as well.
He's from Cameroon.
Cameroon, excuse me. So, Cameroon, are they even qualified for the?
No.
Why did I think it was France for some reason? But anyway, he could play for the United States. That is a quality big man that could play for the United States if he so chooses. But you look at that roster, and we had Michael Cole on earlier in the week, and he was talking about Bam Adebayo and some other players. Jaren Jackson Jr., because he's kind of a freakish athlete and what he can do defensively, he's obviously the reigning NBA Defensive Player of the Year, makes an awful lot of sense. But he's not in foul trouble in this game. They haven't played him much. He's been in foul trouble pretty much throughout the latter stages of this tournament. And I can see where he is left off the team next year when the big names, the real big names, decide they want to play. But
my mistake, Embiid does have a citizenship with France.
Okay.
I was like, he had.
Yeah, that's
right.
what I thought. So he has a choice of France, United States, or not playing at all, which may be his option. But the point is that if Embiid wants to play for the United States, you're going with Embiid. And Jaren Jackson Jr., because of his size, because of his athletic prowess, makes sense to be on the team. But with 12 players and some of the big names that haven't yet decided what they're going to do, if they want to be on that team, then he may not have a spot. And the fact that Kerr's not even playing him that much now, and he's getting into foul trouble, he's not reliable, it's no longer, in my opinion, a shoo-in that he's on this team. It probably never was a shoo-in, but I think he could be in trouble. Now, like I said, the rosters are overhauled. Serbia is in the FIBA World Cup championship game. The best player in the world, arguably right now, is Nikola Jokic. He is Serbian. He's not playing on this team. Bogdan Bogdanovic scored 23 to lead them past Canada, 95-86. So, what will Jokic do? Will he decide that he wants to play for Serbia in the Olympic Games? So that's a possibility as well. But for right now, Serbia is in the finals of the FIBA World Cup. The United States is trailing Germany. And I don't care who that team is comprised of and how good the international teams are and players around the world have become. It is an epic failure if the United States does not win. It's an epic failure. I am sorry. I will go to my grave saying that every time. Basketball created here in this country by James Naismith, we should win. We don't always win. I understand that, but we should win. But this team right now struggling, to say the least, with Germany. All right, this was crazy last night. The Dodgers are playing the Marlins. Dodgers blow out the Marlins 10-0. The game is in Miami. There's about 12,000 fans. You got the Dodgers, one of the best teams in all of baseball, star-studded, and you have the Marlins, who are right in the midst of the playoff race. They're not going to win the division, obviously. The Braves are running away with the NL East, but they are in the midst of a battle to make it to the postseason as a wild card team. In fact, you look at it now, you got the Phillies, you got the Cubs, you got the Marlins right there. Only 12,000 people show up for the game. But that's not the point of this story. The point is that during the sixth inning, Freddie Freeman hit one down the first base line that rolled into foul territory, which is where the Marlins ball boy confidently picked up the ball and turned around and chucked it into the stands before right fielder Jesus Sanchez could get to it. The good news is that the Dodgers still scored 4 runs in the inning. Good news for the Dodgers, not for the Marlins. So the blooper barely affected the game. Sanchez would give the ball boy, who's really a ball man, he's a little bit older, a hug, and the game was never close, so no harm, no foul. But the kid turned around, again, not kid, young man, and he chucks the ball into he doesn't just like flip it to a kid in the front row. He chucks it into the stands, just turns around, wheels, and throws it into the stands. You need to see the video and check out the guy. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and poke fun at the dude, but come on, man. You got a job. You failed at your job. You got to make sure the ball is not in fair territory. You can always run down that ball if it's foul. Normally, the right fielder, if he's a kind person, will get that ball for you if it's anywhere near him. Don't make that mistake. We've seen that mistake made too many times. Last night in the NFL, if you missed it, Detroit beat Kansas City 21-20, a huge win for Motor City Dan Campbell and his Lions going in to Arrowhead on a night where the Chiefs celebrated their Super Bowl from a year ago. Of course, the Chiefs were without Travis Kelce and Chris Jones. Jones, by the way, was in a suite at Arrowhead. Travis Kelce was on the sideline. Patrick Mahomes did Patrick Mahomes things, but he did not get a lot of help. There were a lot of drops. Campbell took some gambles, took some shots, gambled in the first series of the game. Inside his own 20, went for it on fourth down and got the first down. Detroit is going to be a fun team to watch. Jared Goff is a very, very underappreciated quarterback in the NFL. I don't know how far they'll go. I have them in the playoffs. But man, oh man, they are a fun team, a well-coached team, and they got a big win over Kansas City. Also, if you missed it, Joe Burrow reaches a deal with Cincinnati on a contract extension that will make him the highest-paid player in the history of the National Football League. 5 years, $275 million, $219 million guaranteed. So, Zach, if you need a loan, that's the guy to go to. Joe, and his interest rate will only be like 27%. But go ahead, take a shot. Ask Joe for some money. He can afford it. He can afford to help out a lot of people. I'm sure there will be a lot of people asking him to help him out. U.S. Open, Coco Gauff is in the women's singles finals, has a chance to win her first ever major. She won last night despite being on center court at Arthur Ashe Stadium in a match that was halted for 50 minutes because of climate protesters. Just another wacky night for the protesters when it comes to the world of sports. They're there, and they are making their voice heard. College football last night, Louisville beat Murray State 56-0. Tonight, Indiana State at Indiana. Illinois at Kansas. The Jayhawks are a 3-point favorite. Speaking of odds, we will get the handicapping viewpoint of the big college football and NFL games this weekend when we return for Hour 3, as we'll be joined by the one and only Brandon Lang. Then we'll have 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. More news and notes, updates on the United States and Germany at the FIBA World Cup as we continue on Sports 56 Mornings right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place, the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
The NFL is back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving you a can't-miss offer for Week 1. New customers download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the code HERD, H-E-R-D, and take home $200 in bonus bets instantly, just for betting $5. Plus, all customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every single game day in September. That's code HERD, H-E-R-D, only on DraftKings Sportsbook.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See dkng.co/football for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
Want to play a private country club but only pay daily greens fees? Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis is your place. You can now play a beautiful, challenging course for only $59 plus tax, including cards. Meadowbrook Country Club features champion Bermuda greens and now is available to everyone. A membership is only $350 per month and includes tennis, pickleball, and swimming, plus a great restaurant and bar. Golf Pro Mark can even fix you up with custom-made tricks on clubs. Call 870-394-4186 today for your Tuesday through Sunday tee time at Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis.
We interrupt this broadcast for special news and information concerning family leisure.
The world's biggest spa sale is back and bigger than ever at Family Leisure. How is that possible? Well, let me tell you. You start off with 50 different spa models to choose from 5 different manufacturers. Then you throw in up to 30% off in-stock spas and swim spas. But is that all? Oh, no. You get free upgrades on all in-stock spas, plus 24 months, same as cash. Wow! This is the kind of sale that you just can't have every day. But it's happening right now at Family Leisure, the world's biggest spa sale. Soak in the savings right now at Family Leisure, Witten Road and I-40. You know the place where family and fun come together.
Please remain calm and walk. Don't run to Family Leisure. And now back to your regular programming.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 Traffic.
Right now, new accident on Highway 385 west at I-240. The left lane is blocked there, and an accident on Pleasant Hill at Shelby Drive. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Witness the power.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:04 the time. Final hour for us today here on Sports 56 Mornings. In fact, final hour for us this week. Greg Gaston, Zach Boyd, Eli off today. He'll return on Monday. We are in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Their world's biggest spa sale continues. Currently 71, partly cloudy skies. We're looking at 86 for a high today with a chance of rain at about 40%, possibly a scattered thunderstorm tonight. We're looking at a low of 65 with a few clouds, and then tomorrow partly cloudy and a high of around 85. Should be a very nice weekend. It is Friday. It is time to get the handicapping expertise from one of the best in the business, our favorite. It is time for Brandon Lang.
It's time to handicap this week's action. Joining Greg and Eli is sports handicapper Brandon Lang, subject of the movie Two for the Money.
It's P equals P. You walk into a strip bar and you let her take your hand and drag you into that champagne room. Pressure equals problems. You just can't do it. And I'm telling you, pressure equals problems in the NFL.
Get Brandon's plays at BrandonLang.com.
There's 4 things you can't handicap in sports. There's 4 things. Penalties, turnovers, player stupidity, and coaching stupidity. What are they smoking?
Also, listen to Brandon with Clay Harbor and Cam Rogers on the Believe Podcast Network.
You're on a dating app, and they don't show a body picture. Run! Run!
Now, here's Brandon with Greg and Eli.
There it is, Brandon, the new open. What do you think?
You got issues. I got issues. I mean, my girl says I'm whack in a good way because she got issues. Like her favorite saying is, "I can't take you anymore." And the cutest thing ever is that she when I met her, she knew nothing about sports handicapping. She knew nothing about games, point spreads, whatever. So last night she says, "I want to watch the game with you." I'm like, "Okay." So we sit down. We're watching the Chiefs. And I have the Lions plus 4.5. So I have to explain to her. So I'm getting 4.5. I'm plus 4.5. She's like, "Okay, I got it." So. First possession, Lions run for 8 yards. They throw twice. I go, it's a loser. It's a loser. It's just I got no shot in this game whatsoever. She's like, the game just started. I said, yeah, but you'll learn when you watch games from me. I'm going to need a backdoor touchdown. Like, I call it after the first possession. She has no clue what's going on. So Chiefs get the ball, whatever, and she's sweating. Like, her palms are sweating, and she's having hot flashes.
Why?
Like, I can't do this.
Why is
It's
she
too much
sweating?
pressure.
Just listening to you.
Because listen to me. When I tell you that every once in a while in life you meet someone, and they're so pure and they're so incredibly sensitive and genuine to what you do and who you are, you don't find that. And so she's engulfing herself. She works for some $1 billion real estate company, and there's pressure of property, and she handles it like it's nothing, and it's incredible to hear her talk about it. But her wrapping herself up into my job and trying to understand it, and then she's sitting there, in the first quarter, she's having hot flashes because of the pressure. And I'm looking at her going, listen, I got about 400 more of these before the season's over. I can't take it. I'm like, listen, it's going to be okay. So now the game goes the way it went, and the Chiefs are up. And so we leave the bar because she has to get up early for work. So we leave, and it's like start of the fourth quarter. She goes home, and I go back to my pad, and she calls me up. She goes, what happened in the game? I said, well, the Lions won 21-20. She goes, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you lost, honey. I'm like, okay, babe, take a deep breath. Okay, I think this is where you're finally going to get it.
To you.
I said, here we go. We're plus 4.5. So the Lions were getting 4.5, and they won the whole game. And she goes, oh, my God, I get it. What a great call. They won outright. And she just went on this spiel like going, now I get it. If you pick an underdog and they don't only cover, but they win the game outright, that's like rock solid. And she's so much smarter than me anyway. But it's amazing that the light switch went off and she's got it now.
So you corrupted this beautiful young woman, your girlfriend, into our world, and especially your world of handicapping and gambling. Good job.
She's an unbelievable poker player, first of all.
Oh, is she really?
She's an unbelievable poker player. So she already has an idea of, how to bluff and whatever. So maybe she knew something about sports gambling, and she was just playing it off like she did. And I don't, these gorgeous drop-dead slippies. You just don't know. But
she played you like a fool.
She did, and she did tell me, don't bet against Deion Sanders. Take Colorado. So she had the buffs plus 20. She's a validated 2-0. So I'm like, okay, Slick, let's find out what your pick is this week.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know yet. So we'll keep you posted. But yes, it was fun. She gets it, which is great. And listen, I've hit the hit the lottery.
You've hit the lottery. Good for you. By the way, before we get into some of these games, what did you think about Motor City Dan Campbell gambling the way he did last night? First series inside his own 20. I guess early you can gamble. He gambles, goes for it, gets it. Then late in that game with that lead, with 2 minutes and change, knowing Mahomes is on the other side, goes for it, comes up short. Kansas City's given the ball. He dodged a few bullets there, taking some shots.
Well, he dodged a few bullets, but he also made a statement for a couple ways. The first statement was, if you're going to beat the defending Super Bowl champs, you can't go by the book.
Mm-hmm.
Going for it on 4th and 2 from your own 18-yard line, he basically said, guys, we're here to win. That's number one. Number two, the message he sent to his defense, the message he sent to his team, but more importantly, the message he sent to his defense by saying, we went for it on 4th and 3 and we didn't get it. Guys, go back out there because I believe in you. And then they got the holding penalty. And then you got to ask yourself this question. Listen, I bust Andy Reid's balls all the time for being in a food coma because he's 379 pounds overweight. And it's hard to coach when you're overweight. Because listen to me, you can wear sweatpants and your belly's going over your sweatpants and it's hard to breathe. And it's just, there's a lot going on. 4th and 25. 3 timeouts. What is wrong with you?
That's telling your defense you have no faith in them, that you're going to get a stop.
It's 4th and 25. Punt it away. You're at home. Get one stop. Get it back. Now you're good to go. And no one really said anything about it. They give the fat man a pass. So hey, he had a good after the game buffet. I heard Pizza Hut. And he polished off a couple of large ones, and he's good to go. So there we go. But I had the Lions. We got them outright, and good for Dan Campbell, because I've come on your show multiple times and told you I'm a massive, 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 massive Dan Campbell fan. And good for him. And he, I just think that's great for Detroit. And listen, I'm born and raised in Midland, Michigan. Been a Lions fan my whole life. I've gone through a lot of hardship to literally see them win outright, to take them plus 4.5 and get it. I said they're my sleeper pick in the NFC, and I'm going to stay with it. They made me look like Nostradamus last night.
Before I ask you about some specific NFL games, then we'll get to college. What is the play that you really, really like in the NFL?
Raiders at home. I'm sorry, Steelers at home. I just don't get it. Last year they went up to Buffalo and won the game outright. Mike Tomlin and openers is unbelievable. I don't get this line. I don't get it. Pittsburgh gets no respect here. Mike Tomlin, non-division home dog, 11-1-1 against the spread, 5-0. If the team won 14 or more games last year, I just think Pittsburgh getting points at home, out of the box, early game, 10 a.m. for the Niners' bodies. I just don't see it. Pittsburgh's getting no respect, and all Mike Tomlin does is have a winning season every single year. He's been head coach of the Steelers. I love Pittsburgh plus the points.
All right, Steelers plus 2.5 against the Niners. Titans hoping to stay healthy this year at the Saints. Saints a 3-point favorite. Derek Carr now their quarterback.
Yeah, I'm not a believer in the Saints. I'm just not. I just am not a believer in the Saints, and I'm not a believer in Carr. And everybody's jockeying this team like they're great. And I know there's some bad numbers for Tennessee in this one, 1-6 against the spread in season openers. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to go Tennessee plus the points. I'm going to buy the half point. I'm going to get 3.5, and I'm going to step back. And worst case scenario, it's a field goal game.
Okay. Bengals and Browns, there's a lot of people that are high on the Browns, but Joe Burrow, as long as he's healthy, with that new contract that he got last night, he's going to be flying high. Bengals, Browns, Cincinnati's a 2-point road favorite in the dog pound.
Take a deep breath.
Okay.
Breathe in. Let it out. By the way, you should do that like 5 times every hour and watch how much better you feel. I'm just giving you a little health tip there here on this.
Really? Just a nice little breath in, breath out? Boom?
5 times.
Okay.
5 times. In, out, gets oxygen going, bada bang, bada boom. So check this out. Since 1999, when they became a team again, this is going to blow you away. In home openers, season opening games, not home openers, season opening game, first game of the year, 1999, the Cleveland Browns are 2-21-1.
Oh, my gosh.
Think about that. 2-21-1. Just based on that stat by itself, take Cincinnati on the money line. Think you're laying 135. Good to go.
You had a Freudian slip with the Raiders mentioned. It was the Steelers, obviously, that was your pick you loved. What about the Raiders, Broncos, Denver, new coach Sean Payton? Denver, 3.5-point favorite out of the Mile High City.
Do you remember the movie Big?
Yes.
Remember when he's in there and the one guy's describing the robot, and he's like, the robot does this, and Tom Hanks raises his hand. They go ahead. He goes, I don't get it. I just don't get it. And the guy's like, well, what you don't get? He goes, well, it's blah, 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 blah. Last 11 meetings between these two teams, Vegas is 10-1 against the spread. Last 11 games in this series, the Raiders are 10-1 against the spread, and as a divisional home chalk, Denver's 0-6, their last 6 against the number. Give me the Raiders all day long, plus the points in this.
Wow. So far, the games I've asked you have been like pretty good stats in their favor to take those particular teams, the Bengals and now the Raiders. What about the Dolphins and Chargers out in L.A.? Chargers 3-point favorite.
I would never trust Brandon Staley for the rest of my natural-born life. Somebody needs to call 911 right now and say, excuse me, there's a robbery going on in L.A. with the head coach. He's flat out stealing money. Can we get somebody down there and arrest him? Because this guy's absolute garbage. Somebody call 911. And how he still has a job is unbelievable to me. Love Miami plus 3.5.
Sunday night game, Cowboys-Giants. The G-Men are 3.5-point dogs. So they're 3.5-point dogs at home against the Cowboys.
Hate the game.
Okay.
I'll still watch the game, but all I'll go on is that Dallas has beaten the Giants 4 in a row. So it's a quadruple revenge situation. I came across the stat that New York, when facing a team they've lost 4 in a row to, 61 against the spread at home, 4-0 straight up and against the spread in a division contest. So the numbers say Giants. But with Dallas, I always take a step back and go, I got to watch them one game first before I decide what I'm doing. Same thing with the Giants. That's a really, really tough game.
All right, fair enough. And then one more, the Monday night game. Bills-Jets, Aaron Rodgers' debut. Buffalo, 2.5-point favorite on the road and in the Meadowlands.
Hard knocks. Hard knocks, baby. Just hard. Go to the ATM machine and say, I'm betting the Hard Knocks. The team that's on Hard Knocks the last 6 years is 6-0 against the spread, game 1 of the season.
I love that stat.
What do you want from me? Well, how much more can I give you with the with
You're
with
giving
stuff
us
that
a
I
lot.
covered, the little nuggets. Hard Knocks team have covered 6 straight opening game seasons the past 6 years. Give me the Jets outright. I'll take the points nevertheless.
I am writing these down feverishly. Got Steelers, got Bengals, got Raiders, got Jets. Let's go to the college ranks. You may have to ask your girlfriend about this one. Nebraska, Colorado starts out opening line. Nebraska is a 7-point favorite. And then I think they realize, wait, what? What did we do? We forgot that Colorado went into TCU, went into Fort Worth and won over a ranked team. So now all of a sudden the gamblers, they're betting up Colorado. Colorado is now a 3-point favorite. They are at home over Nebraska. That's the line I think should have been from the beginning. What do you think about this one?
The other morning I was making coffee. She walked by me and slapped me on my butt. Like, that was a stinger. And she goes, I'm giving you Colorado this week minus the points, but that's not my official pick. So that came with a slap, boys. So that's the slap game of the year. And I do like Colorado in that game. And I think the line maker still has not caught up with them. I think Colorado should be a 7-point favorite in this game. And I mean, you think about how poorly they missed the line last week, 20.5, and they win the game outright. They couldn't have been more wrong about this team. And so how do you then come back and say, well, we're going to make them a 7-point favorite? If you watched the Nebraska-Minnesota game, it was like watching paint dry.
Mm-hmm.
It was like those little sock'em robots that move on the little board and just kind of run into each other. It was the most boring game in the world to watch. Now you're facing a Colorado offense. And think about this from an emotional standpoint. Yes, you beat TCU. Yes, you believe. Yes, you do that. But if you don't come back at home in front of a sold-out stadium and win this game to validate it, in golf we play skins, but in skins, if you win a skin, you got to validate it with a par in the next hole. Have you ever heard that?
Yep.
So Colorado got to come home in front of that crowd and make par, and I believe they will, and I think they win the game comfortably. This is Matt Rule's first year.
Mm-hmm.
He won 1 game at Temple and 2 games at Baylor in his first season. So, listen, they lost to Minnesota, which I think isn't really that good, and I just think the offensive firepower of Colorado at home, I think this may be your last time to get value with Colorado because the line maker's going to say, you know what, this team's for real.
I don't recall McConaughey telling Pacino his slap game of the year. This is new to the Lang repertoire, isn't it?
Well, you got to be flexible with my girl. She's a Bama girl. You know, Nick Saban's all over the place. These Bama girls are all over the place. You better be on your toes because you just don't. You don't know where it's coming from. So it could be a slap game, could be a bite. Who knows? You just got to be on your toes.
All right. Since you brought up Bama, Texas.
Another tough game. I mean, Texas should have beat them last year. All they had to do was pick up a 3rd and 4 with 1:16 to go, and they could have ran out the clock, and they couldn't do it. And so here we are, and I want to take Bama so badly, but I just think Texas is going to stand toe-to-toe with them. I do. And my lean is toward Texas by the half point, gets 7.5. I just think it's the right side. I might be wrong, but I just get a feeling that like last year's game, this is going to go down to the wire.
Few more involving some local teams. Ole Miss, Tulane could be interesting. Ole Miss 7.5-point favorite in New Orleans.
This is a tough one because Tulane looked pretty good last week. Ole Miss looked pretty good last week, but Tulane's legit. They really are. And I think coming off that bowl win against USC, and I think turning around and coming back home, they got 16 starters back. I think 9 on the offensive side of the football. I think both these teams are going to score. I think you take the home dog here plus the point.
Memphis at Arkansas State, line is 21.5 in different places.
Listen, they got beat. They got to be. The whole Arkansas State team has to be sore. I mean, they got beat bad in the most embarrassing fashion. I just believe Memphis tees off on them as well. I mean, I'm not a big chalk guy, but I watched the highlights of that Oklahoma game. You and I could have scored on them. I mean, it was just atrocious. And so I think Memphis will stay away.
All right, give me your one of your favorite plays in college.
So it's Colorado, obviously. Mm-hmm. That's it. But I'm going to give you one stat for your listeners before you go.
Okay.
And it's right here. First home game of the season the last 21 years. Let me say it again. First home game of the season the last 21 years. Boise State is 21-0.
Holy moly.
We give it to you again. Last 21, first home games of the season. Boise State's 21-0, and they're getting 3.5 against UCF. Bada bang, bada boom. Tony Soprano says, there you go.
There you go. Tell everybody about the Believe Me podcast with Clay Harbor, Cam Rogers.
Yeah, Clay went like 11-2 in preseason football. It was unbelievable. Like, it was sick. I went like, I don't know. I don't even want to say what I was horrible. And then we start off college. He goes like 1-5, and I go like 6-0. So welcome to the big leagues. So I'm anxious to see what his NFL opinion does because he does have a pretty good NFL opinion. But college, he's got to get a feel for it. But there's some great sparring going on. It's a really good show, and we're having fun doing it.
Check it out, folks. The Believe Me podcast with Brandon, with Clay Harbor, Cam Rogers hosting, and of course, it's BrandonLang.com. Catch him every Friday talking with us here on Sports 56 Mornings. Brandon, enjoy your time with your beautiful, lovely girlfriend, and we'll talk to you next week.
You the man. Let's go.
Thank you now. Take care. All right, there you go. There's some picks from Brandon. I wrote these ones down. Whether I play them or not, that's to be determined, but I wrote them down. It's a pretty good one as far as that stat with Boise State. Get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets. That's guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube television. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is super easy to use. You can bet on everything from spreads to player props and much, much more. I should have asked him about my picks, but I love the Commanders plus the over in that game. I'll parlay that one. They're playing the Cardinals, and I love the over in the Jaguars game. So visit FanDuel.com/Gasman. Kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel is the official partner of the National Football League. Must be 21 or over, present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only, $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline at 1-800-889-9789. NFL Sunday Ticket offer ends on September 18th. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan is required to watch YouTube television. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use excluded. Subscription renews. Cancel at any time. When we come back, we'll give you an update on what's happening with the United States and Germany. And Zach's shaking his head.
No, my blood pressure high.
All right, we'll get that when we return. Plus, 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. If you want to participate, jump on the Sports 56 listener lines right now by calling in at 901-360-8255. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
7.
12. What are we playing?
Central Barbecue has 7 different kinds of sandwiches.
Okay, does that seem like a lot?
Are you kidding? 7 may be the most perfect amount of sandwiches. See, they get the pulled pork. You can get chopped on request. Then trim sliced beef brisket sandwich. There's 2 right there.
I'm not sure exactly.
Look, you've also got the pulled chicken, the smoked turkey, the marinated portobello mushroom sandwich.
That seems like plenty.
You would think, but then you also got the smoked sausage and the barbecue bologna sandwich.
You're right. 7 may be the perfect amount of sandwiches.
The people at Central Barbecue are genius.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair because they just don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance carriers each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. This is why you call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates and consultation and love to assist homeowners with their claims. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, and diagnosing problems is second to none. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. And the best part of all you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and even Mulehide. We offer best-in-class warranties on all of our jobs, up to 50 years. When it comes to roofs and restoration, call Metro Builders to schedule your free inspection. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
NFL Sunday Ticket is now on YouTube and YouTube TV, which means that it just got easier to be an NFL fan, even if you live far away. Like maybe you like the Bears, but you're hibernating in Panthers territory. But with NFL Sunday Ticket, your out-of-market team is never more than a short distance away, specifically the distance from you to your remote control. NFL Sunday Ticket, now on YouTube and YouTube TV. Go to youtube.com/NFLST to get $50 off.
Terms and embargoes apply. Offer ends 9/19. No refund. Subscription auto renews.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Okay, this car looked great wrapped around you,
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
The body's a temple, that's what we're told.
I am very, very much concerned about my partner over here, Zach Boyd, because it looks like he's about to have, God forbid, a heart attack watching the United States play Germany. What's the latest? What's the update? Unfortunately, I can't change the channel with this TV here in my studio, so I'm watching ESPN, and it's not on ESPN.
Yeah, so right now, the lead at one point was at 10.
For
going
Germany?
into the fourth.
For Germany?
For Germany. And so now the U.S. have managed to get the lead down to 1 with less than 90 seconds to go in this
the
game.
Deficit's down to 1, 90 seconds to go. So I'm sure we will have a final for you. We'll pass that along when it happens. Let's hope it's not a loss, because then I have to go on a tirade about how it's a huge, epic failure, and it would be the second epic failure that I've talked about today. The other one being a person who got into FedEx Forum, threw the metal detectors with a gun, and shot somebody.
At this point, y'all just find a way to win. I really don't care.
Just win, baby. Al Davis. Go Al Davis.
Just
win,
find
baby.
a way to win this game, man.
The winner, hopefully the United States or Germany, will play Serbia for the FIBA World Cup title. That's Serbia without Nikola Jokic. Bogdan Bogdanovic at 23 today. They beat Canada in a surprise 95-86. Well, right now, it's time for 10 in a row.
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
It's the game show that has swept the nation. It is 10 in a row. If you'd like to participate, stop delaying. Jump on the Sports 56 listener lines right now at 901-360-8255. What's the prize package, Zach?
So the prize package for... I got to turn off my screen. The prize package for...
What's in front of you? Just read what's in front of you. Well, we can't hear you.
$25 to East Coast Wings.
Okay.
$25 to Sunrise. And
Okay.
a couple of Malco movie passes.
There you go. That's good. That's a good prize package. Sunrise is terrific. East Coast Wings, that's Eli's place. And 2 Malco movie passes to the winner. Here's the question. It's a pretty tough question. Who are the 10 oldest Week 1 NFL starting quarterbacks this season? These are the quarterbacks who are slated to start. They're listed number 1 on the depth chart this weekend in the NFL, or the 2 that started last night, Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes. The 10 oldest in the National Football League. So the 10 oldest Week 1 NFL starting quarterbacks this season. I'm not asking for the 10 oldest quarterbacks, period, because that would include second-teamers, even third-teamers. I'm talking about the 10 oldest Week 1 NFL starting quarterbacks this season. If they are, it's a yes. If not, it's a no. 360-8255, playing for $25. Gift certificate, East Coast Wings, $25. Sunrise, terrific breakfast and lunch, and 2 Malco movie passes. You guys could be in trouble because Joe is dialed in. He's ready to go. It's been over a month since he's won, and he joins us now. Joe, how are you?
Hey, Greg, I want to make it past 1 or 2 or 3 here so you don't go on a rant about my epic failure.
All right, let's see if you can win again. 10 oldest Week 1 NFL starting quarterbacks this season. Mac Jones.
No.
Justin Fields.
No.
Dak Prescott.
No.
360-8255 is the number. Dak, to give you kind of a feel for this thing, is 30, and he's one of the top 10 oldest starting quarterbacks Week 1 in the NFL. It just tells you how many young quarterbacks there are in the National Football League that will be starting. Galvin is next. Hi, Galvin. How are you?
Doing good, man.
All right, here we go. Derek Carr.
Yes.
Josh Allen.
No.
Ryan Tannehill.
No.
360-8255 is the number. Next up is Dan. Let's see if Dan can be the man. How are you, Dan?
Hey, Greg. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Mac Jones.
No.
Justin Fields.
No.
Dak Prescott.
Yes.
Jalen Hurts.
No.
Matthew Stafford.
Yes.
Desmond Ridder.
No.
Kirk Cousins.
Yes.
Geno Smith.
No.
Close, but no cigar for Dan. We got up to number 8 on the list. We go to Anthony. What's up, Anthony?
How's it going?
Going well, thanks. All right, we go to the second list. Derek Carr.
Yes.
Josh Allen.
No.
Ryan Tannehill.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes.
No.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Lamar Jackson.
No.
Daniel Jones.
No.
Russell Wilson.
No.
That is a winner. That's how it is done. Great job, Anthony.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Put you on hold. Zach will get your information. Unfortunately, we're not going to do a second chance here. Thank you, though, for participating. Anthony is the winner of 10 in a row. The first list, Mac Jones, no. Justin Fields, no. Dak Prescott, yes. Jalen Hurts, no. Matthew Stafford, yes. Desmond Ridder, no. Kirk Cousins, yes. Geno Smith, yes. We didn't get to Trevor Lawrence, no. And Kenny Pickett, no. The oldest quarterback, pretty simple. Everyone knows it is Aaron Rodgers at 39. Those that I used that are in the top 10 include Kirk Cousins at 35, Matthew Stafford at 35, Ryan Tannehill at 35, Russell Wilson at 34, 32 for Geno Smith, 32 for Derek Carr, and even Dak Prescott at 30 is a top 10 oldest starting quarterback in week 1 of the National Football League. Isn't that hard to believe, Zach, that Dak Prescott is one of the 10 oldest starting quarterbacks?
Oh, still remember him coming out his rookie year.
It doesn't seem that long ago.
Yeah.
But it tells you how many young quarterbacks there are in the National Football League. Just think about this year. You have C.J. Stroud that will start for Houston week 1. You have Bryce Young, who will start week 1 for Carolina. You have Anthony Richardson, who will start week 1 for the Colts. It's amazing. And then all the guys that are in their second or third years, the Justin Fields of the world. Arizona's going to start Josh Dobbs. How old's Josh Dobbs now?
I think he's like 27, 28.
Yeah. And he's actually like in the upper part of the veteran quarterbacks in the National Football League.
Right.
Kyler Murray would, of course, been way under as far as age, but he is on the PUP, so he won't start. In fact, he'll miss the first 4 games for the Arizona Cardinals. Probably not a big part of their future. Do you think there'll be a lot of interest in Kyler Murray for a team down the road?
I mean, it just depends on who's the coach. Because, I mean, right now, like, there have been reports that, like, the people in Arizona really don't like him. The coaching staff don't like him.
Well, no, I think that marriage is over. I think eventually he will be dealt, but I'm just thinking about what teams out there would be interested in Murray. Again, Murray does a lot of good things, but it's not clicked the way they had hoped for a guy of that talent. But there's a lot. Look, this year there may be more question marks at quarterback in the National Football League than in any previous year. I'm not talking only about the first-year guys. Think about this. You have Russell Wilson. Can he find the old magic again for Denver? With Sean Payton now trying to bring it out of him. Can he find that? Brock Purdy. Can he bounce back from the injury and have the year that he had last year when he came out of nowhere, Mr. Irrelevant? I mean, it's not a slam dunk that Brock Purdy's out there and he's just crushing it again. So that's certainly a question. You have Justin Fields in Chicago. We know what he can do with the legs. Can he do it with the arm like he showcased at Ohio State? Can the Bears be better because of him? You have those veteran quarterbacks. You know what you're getting in Rodgers. You know what you're getting in Cousins for the most part. Even Geno Smith, you know what you're getting, although last year was electric for him with Seattle. But all these young guys, I think Bryce Young's going to take his lumps. I think Stroud's going to take his lumps. Richardson is going to take his lumps. They're with bad teams, right? Aaron Rodgers, it's Super Bowl or bust for the Jets. He'll be there for a couple years, and that will be it. How about New England? They decided that, it's not going to be Bailey Zappi. We're not going to go out and get another quarterback. Malik Cunningham and Zappi are on the taxi squad, if you will. So they're going with Mac Jones. And Mac Jones last year at times struggled. So they're confident, Bill Belichick's confident that he's the guy. But that's still a question mark, right? Can Jalen Hurts, and I have all the confidence in the world in Jalen Hurts, can he turn around and do what he did last year? How about Deshaun Watson? Can he find the magic from when he began his pro career in Houston, coming out of Clemson before all the problems that he had? Can he do that to lead Cleveland? Joe Burrow, we already know that he's really, really talented, and established, but now he's got the huge contract that he signed yesterday. Will he live up to the moniker of being right now the highest paid player in the history of the game, which is hard to really comprehend when you think about the greats. And Joe Burrow's really, really, really good and on a great trajectory. But of all the greats, he's the highest paid player. Now, I said this earlier in the show. Patrick Mahomes, they got to get that renewed. They got to have him as the highest paid quarterback. There should be no quarterback that makes more money than Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes is number 9 on the list of quarterbacks. That is crazy. Can Derek Carr resurrect his career in New Orleans? Can Tua stay healthy in Miami? I mean, think about it. Matthew Stafford led the Rams to a Super Bowl win just a couple of years ago. He was injured most of last year. Can he bounce back and have a big year? So on and on and on and on with quarterback questions in the National Football League.
So we do have a final.
I'm just trying to gauge your face here on whether or not the United States won. I'm looking, you're smiling now, but I don't think they won.
Team USA will be playing in the bronze medal game against Canada. They lose to Germany by 2.
This is a sad day, ladies and gentlemen, and a dark day for the United States of America.
Not really, but...
Yes, it is.
As long as it's not the Olympics, I'm okay with it. But
it's still an epic failure. It's international basketball. We should own international basketball. Come on now.
I agree.
We lost to Germany. Dennis Schroeder.
I really don't like the fact that Jaren played less than 20 minutes in this ball game.
What were his numbers? What was his stat line?
Jaren?
Yeah, do you have that?
8 points, 3 rebounds.
Any blocks?
No blocks.
Who led the United States?
Yeah. By the way, the big one that everybody loves to kind of point out. He only had 1 personal foul in this game.
Gee, thanks, Jaren, for not fouling. Finally, who was the leading scorer?
Leading scorer was Anthony Edwards for Team USA. He had 23 points, 8 boards. Austin Reeves had 21 points off the bench, 15 from Brunson, 17 from Mikal Bridges.
You can make the argument that after Edwards, because I think everybody would say Edwards was their best player overall, right?
Sure.
That the second best player was Reeves. Halliburton, certainly in the conversation. Maybe Bridges in the conversation. I think Jaren was disappointing. He started out well, but come on, man. He couldn't stay in games earlier in the knockout stage, and now he plays 3 rebounds. I don't know. I love the guy. He obviously proved his merit and then some last year, becoming the Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know if the international rules change things up. Obviously, with 5 fouls, you get early fouls, you're in trouble. But it seems like maybe Kerr lost a little faith in him. As you mentioned, he didn't play at all in that second quarter. That's an epic failure. I'm sorry. Yeah. The United States losing.
But it's not like Bobby Portis and Paolo was doing any better either. So.
No, Paolo had some good games earlier, but I mean, you wonder about the makeup of that team. Now, how many guys turned them down, right? I'm sure they asked a lot of those guys, or the guys that already come out. I'm talking about the studs, the stars, the Kevin Durants of the world, and said, nah, we're not playing. But will they play for the Olympic team?
Yes.
So there's 12 spots on that Olympic team, okay? And obviously you and I don't know. We're not privy to any information. It's way too early to know who wants to play on the team and who they want to play on the team. But right now, when you look at this team that just lost in the semifinals to Germany, led by who? Dennis Schroeder?
Yes.
They got the Wagners, right? They're German.
Yeah, they got the Wagners.
Yeah, it was probably one of the Wagners. Who's the better Wagner?
Franz.
Franz Wagner. I mean, they're good, but Schroeder, the Wagners, Wiener Schnitzel, that's who you lost to. And
Wiener Schnitzel.
Yeah, that's a delicacy. You wouldn't know because you're a vegetarian.
You're right.
It's meat, baby. I've never eaten that stuff either. Who's going to be on the team from this year, just a guess, not knowing, again, what of the start. Like, how about if Anthony Davis wanted to play? We talked earlier about Embiid, who's now got dual citizenship. How about if he wants to play for the United States? These are guys that if they want to play, they're playing.
Right.
Is LeBron going to play? Is KD going to play?
Yeah.
Is Kyrie going to play? On and on and on and on. So who from this team is on that team? I think the only slam dunk, in my opinion, is Anthony Edwards.
I wouldn't say he's a slam dunk either.
You don't think he's slam dunk?
No. It's no. Not in my eyes, I think. I think he's good. Don't get me wrong. Like he should be in have some type of consideration, but I wouldn't say he's a slam dunk.
Do you think okay, it's kind of a loaded question. No pun intended. If Ja was on this team,
yes.
Would they have won?
Yes. Yes, 100%.
I think he would thrive in international competition, this kind of stuff. But Edwards is more a shooter, right? Even though he can do everything. Ja's more a penetrator, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say? Can they coexist?
I think so. I think it will work out because I'm again like in this setting, like Ja's not the only best player on the floor. It's you getting the best of those that wanted to play with him. So It's like, okay, for him it's like it's the same way with Halliburton. Like let's set up the team. Like I'm gonna get my points regardless, but let's set up the team.
And you're right. Look, what really, really matters is the Olympic Games and coming away with Olympic gold. But we have not won every Olympics, so we have failed at times in the Olympics. But I still think we are the best. We have the best players. The international players are getting better and better. But I think as a collective group, the United States still has the best basketball players in the world. Now, you could argue Doncic and Greek Freak and Jokic and all that maybe those, but they play for different countries. They don't play for the same country. We have a lot of guys, and they're all available in the United States, hopefully for the Olympic Games, and we win gold. But I still think epic failure. It's the United States. I want to win gold in every international competition. I don't care if it's fencing. I don't care if it's cricket, even though we don't play them. I just want to bocce ball. We should be terrific. Maybe the Italians would be better. We got the Ryder Cup coming up. Go USA, go red, white, and blue. That's why I take it hard, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Like we said before, and I said this before, like this is Team USA's C team. This is the C/D team. So the A and B team wasn't a part of this. And the fact that, I guess if there's any quote unquote consolation with this, like you managed to possibly secure your spot on the podium to get third if you beat Canada. But when the Olympics come around, best believe Bron, KD, Kyrie, Steph, Clay, everybody wants to be a part of it. And I think when it's all said and done, because when the A team comes through, A team takes care of business.
See, this would have been perfect time to play the theme to the A-Team TV show. Dun, 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 dun. Perfect. Thank you, Zach. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. They offer financing, different plans and options to suit your budget. Maybe you want to go 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. They'll work with your insurance company. They'll work out of pocket, whatever it takes. They're part of the Roofs for Troops program. Any veteran, active, or retired get a $250 rebate on the purchase of a new roof. They do residential and commercial roofing, so business owners and property managers out there, if you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call Brandon. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. Don't forget, you get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof, and all their work satisfaction guaranteed. That includes carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, put up fencing and siding, rotten wood repair. Brandon can install shingles. In fact, he's a certified shingle installer. So whatever you can't do yourself, call the experts at Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Quality work at a very good price. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon. Tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings, 901-438-5084, or online at newroofmemphis.com. We're back to wrap up the show, wrap up the week, when we return to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
A good friend of mine often says that golfers are the best athletes. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors. Now, I don't want to embarrass Ed by mentioning his name, but if you stop and think about it, he may be right. Just like the best real estate agent may not be who you think. Like a left tackle in football, a golfer hits it hard off the tee. Like a sprinter, the golfer walks down the fairway to reach his ball. Then like a quarterback who wants to connect with a distant target, the golfer hits the ball again, and in my case, again and again and again. So if you or someone you know is thinking of selling a home, draft your team by interviewing the players. Find out who will block that offensive lineman from knocking your deal down. And find out about the Shell Bucks option play. When interviewing, call or email me to find out why people often say, when you want the job done, call Shell Done. You can reach me at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. That's 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now and don't fumble that ball.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
Get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is easy to use. You can bet on everything from spreads to player props and more. So visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
NFL Sunday Ticket offer ends 9/18/23. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use excluded. Subscription renews. Cancel anytime.
Grapevine Liquor and Wine has the largest selection of bourbon in North Mississippi and wines from all over the world. Let Jimmy the Delta Boy help you select the perfect spirit or wine to impress. Whether you're looking for the best price or a certain flavor profile, Grapevine Liquor and Wines has it. If you want good southern treatment and the hottest prices, Grapevine Liquor and Wine. Getwell Road, South Haven.
Hotty toddy, gosh almighty, where do you get your bourbon? Flim flam, bim bam, Grapevine, by damn.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Get them to sign on the line which is dotted.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Gonna put the world away for a minute.
A lot of folks on social media going after Steve Kerr and that coaching staff for not really playing two bigs together. Although, you think about it, that team did not have a lot of size, and they got beat by a team that was much bigger. But these are guys like Daniel Tice, who played in the NBA. I think he's still a current player in the NBA. Yes, he is. 21-5 for Tice. Jaren Jackson Jr., Bobby Portis combined for 13 points and 5 rebounds. But people are wondering why Jackson and Kessler, let's say, Walker Kessler, weren't on the floor at the same time to offset the bigs from Germany, and really a couple of other teams that were big. The loss to Lithuania, playing another team that was big. It certainly reared its ugly head in this tournament for the USA's lack of size. But they're the ones who created the team, right? They're the ones who put these players, this particular formula together for a team. I'm sure there were some guys that have size that they could have put on this team that were willing to play in the FIBA World Cup as opposed to those who are just waiting to play in the Olympic Games. So, yeah, the excuses are coming in. They lost. Give Germany a lot of credit. Again, Tice had a huge game. Wagner had a huge game. Schroeder played well. Schroeder ended up with 17 points and 9 assists, 7 of 13 field goals. Franz Wagner, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 7 of 18 from the field. Andreas Obst, I'm not familiar with him. He had 24 and 6 assists, 4 of 8 from 3. Give the man his money. He beat me. Right? Give the man his money. The United States loses to Germany. Now it's the Germans, and it is Serbia, the Serbians, in the championship of the FIBA World Cup. Once again, Ole Miss Tulane will have that game for you tomorrow, 12:30, right here on Sports 56. Sunday, an NFL doubleheader, Packers at the Bears at 3, Cowboys at the Giants at 7, and then we'll have the Monday night game for you, the Bills at the Jets at 7 o'clock. I am off to Jonesboro for tomorrow. Won't be leaving today, but we'll be up there. So all you Tigers fans listening to the show right now, if you see me on the sideline, say hello, and I'll say hello right back to you. Hopefully good support for the Tigers. I like Memphis to win this game by 17 over Arkansas State tomorrow night in Jonesboro, where the weather looks to be absolutely fabulous. I want to thank John Varlas, Nick Suss, and Matt Stoltz, the voice of the Red Wolves, for joining us on the program today. And a big shout out to all you folks for listening, your calls, your texts, your tweets. We always appreciate it. Believe me, we do. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you again on Monday. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 is next for Eli Savoy, who will return on Monday, and for Zach Boyd. I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great weekend, everyone.